We be live.
I gotta come up with I gotta come up with something new because it's getting repetitive. It started off as a joke.
I know. I still love it. For me, it's never gonna get old.
It was a joke on Susanna.
But it's adorable. I don't know if you don't stop it, I wouldn't complain. Guys, Veedu is not here for a very good reason. Can we tell people why?
Yeah, I think we should talk about it. I think we do have his permission, don't we?
Yes, we did. We actually asked him for permission to tell him to tell you guys about it.
Yeah, so Veedu, ladies and gentlemen, has become a daddy again.
Okay.
Yes, again. So he's become a daddy. He's welcomed a beautiful little baby.
Yes.
Just
today, just
today. Yeah,
within the past couple of hours, actually.
Yeah, he was going to come today, and he was going to become a part of the show, but fortunately, not unfortunately, fortunately, he can't for a very good reason. So yeah, he'll be doing his daddy duties, and that's going to be. I think he'll be busy again. Well, he's got some experience, I think. So yeah, he'll be all right. Happy times.
Look at this, brother.
I doubt it, though. I doubt that's ever going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't think. Like, I mean, for people like us who have read or studied Islam in such detail, I mean, literally, God has to come down and he has to say, "My name is Allah, and stop this crap about me, okay? I am real. Look at this," and boom, boom, and then it destroys a mountain there. And
Actually, I don't think that's enough reason to believe in Allah.
Well, tell me, because
if somebody comes down and says like, "Oh, look, I am Allah," okay, and like, for example, he moves the stars for me, right? And we're like, okay, that's pretty impressive, but how do I know you're Allah? You could just be a very powerful magic creature.
But there's no magic.
Well, I mean, if there is Allah, between that and Allah, there's no magic. You just told me there's Allah. Obviously, if there's Allah, there's magic.
Yeah. Right? So exactly. So if you're willing to accept there's magic, why are you not willing to accept there's Allah?
Because there could be magic and no Allah. Do you know? Is it possible? If there is magic, is there a scenario where there's magic and no Allah? Is that possible?
Yeah, it's possible.
Okay. Or there could be magic and Allah, but this dude is not Allah.
Yeah, no, but if he's saying it. No, no, I know, but we're gonna have to have a look. No, but we're gonna have to look. No, but there are other things that we can test. But I'm just saying, like, it makes.
What can he do to prove that he's Allah?
So as I said, like, so let's say he can move the stars, okay, and he says that I am Allah. Prophet Muhammad was my prophet, and I want you to pray 5 times a day, exactly how the prophet told you. So if he's some other magical entity, why would he be supporting Allah and Muhammad? Some Arab dude from 7th century.
I don't know.
There's no. I'm just saying, like, it's just circumstantially, it makes this case for Allah a lot stronger. He could have also said, "I'm Zeus." He could have said that I'm Krishna or something. But
he could be the devil trying to make us worship the devil.
Well, so again, there's devil. So if there is devil, then why would devil not say that I'm devil, and why would he say I'm Allah?
So that you worship the devil.
No, but I'm worshiping Allah.
No. If the devil says I'm Allah, okay, now you're worshiping the devil because you think he's Allah. So
but he said that he's giving us instructions of
here's a scenario. Okay, let's say there's a really powerful magic entity. Okay, and he comes on Earth and he realizes like, oh, these idiots believe in Allah, right? So why don't I not just introduce myself as Allah so that they worship me? There you go.
That's fine. Yeah, but that's fine. But again, that's still more of a reason to believe in Allah than don't believe in Allah. Because if there's such a magic...
I'm just saying Allah, there's nothing Allah can do to prove himself.
But then there's nothing, no one, he's not going to carry a driver's license and going to show you, hey, look at this.
Exactly.
This is my data. No, but listen. But then there's more of a reason to believe in him. Why would you mess with such a powerful entity that you've seen, and he wants you to do certain things?
Okay, dude, I'm not. You're right. I'm not gonna mess with him. If such a powerful entity comes and says, "I'm Allah, worship me," the fact that he's that powerful is enough for me. Like, okay, sure, dude, whatever you want. Okay,
that's right.
But in my mind, I'm like, I still don't know.
Yeah,
if this
well,
is actually
you can have some degree of skepticism, but then obviously it would be more difficult to remain atheist than say that it could be Allah. It's more likely that it is Allah than it is unlikely that it's
okay, dude. If the world
would you remain an atheist? It could be an advanced alien, yeah, right? It could be an advanced alien, but so a God, but a God would be, but Allah would be an alien for us as well.
Right. No, but but like if somebody comes and with his power moves the stars, right? I would understand that our understanding of the universe is so flawed that anything is possible.
Of course,
like it could be Allah, it could be not Allah. I wouldn't be in a position to make any conclusions because everything is up in the air.
Yeah, but that powerful being is making very specific demands. That
I will listen to those demands, not because I think he's right, just because
would you pray then? Would you pray 5 times a day then?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Well, you're practically a Muslim. You just have a little doubt in your heart. That's fine.
We're not. So you're confusing what we do out of practicality than actual belief.
Or fear. That is one of the requirements of being a Muslim. Fear Allah. Or fear that being.
I'm not sure if I'm fearing Allah. I'm fearing something.
Okay. I mean, you're creating an unfalsifiable scenario. So tell me this.
It is an unfalsifiable. That's what I'm. That's my entire point.
Yeah, that's
God
horrible.
is unfalsifiable.
Yeah, that's a horrible point though, because that actually says that like that says that Muslims say that you would never believe no matter what evidence we show you. So
because there is no evidence. There is no evidence.
Okay, would you be less of an atheist and more of a believer than in that circumstance?
No, I would be more of an agnostic. I would be like but
not an atheist. But not an atheist.
I would be an agnostic atheist, yes. I would be more of an agnostic atheist because I would realize that the understanding that we had, even that is completely flawed. Like everything is up in the air. We have no idea what's going on. That's what I would think.
Yeah.
So everything is up for grabs. It could be aliens, it could be Allah, it could be the devil, it could be some other powerful magic. It could be my hallucinations. I could be in the fucking Matrix. I don't know what the hell is happening.
Okay. So, but the point is, you as an individual would have less of a reason not to become or pretend to be a Muslim. Now we don't have to pretend to be Muslim.
Pretend to, yes. Wow. I would not be actually a Muslim. I would
be a Muslim. But the degree of skepticism that you're applying, that degree of skepticism can be applied on everything, on from pandemics to vaccines to freaking aliens to everything.
No. Actually, because right now with those things, okay, we have certain, consistent, verifiable, observable, falsifiable data with all of these things you mentioned.
We actually don't. Okay?
We do. With the Allah thing, what you just introduced is something that just made everything like unpredictable, unrecognizable, without any theories. There's no legitimate theories that we could offer here. The Allah theory is still as wacky as it was before.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. If a very advanced, powerful creature that can just, like Dr. Manhattan, like goes with a, with one little
it could be Dr. Manhattan. There you go.
And we can all disappear, and then he demonstrates a little power of that, and we know, okay, we've established that this being is like at least a million years ahead of us, very powerful.
Okay,
listen. I'm coming to that. So if you come to that being could actually say, my name is Uhuru or something. And we would still be like, okay, I'll take it. And then the reason is specifically saying that I'm Allah out of any other God, that gives that practically makes more sense that it is more likely that it is Allah.
No,
so I would say, Allah.
Okay, so you keep confusing what we do with what actually we believe. I don't know why you can't comprehend that these two.
I can. Well, I can. I'm just saying it doesn't have.
I understand that we would do something, but what we actually believe, okay, this entity is so powerful. I'm sure it's capable of lying. There's like Muslims have
less
made
of a
us.
Reason,
I think. Well, now it's my turn to speak. Muslims, I think you're working with a Islamic mindset, okay, because we have been brainwashed as children that, okay, if there is such a powerful entity, a maximally powerful entity is also maximally good. Okay, like they just go hand in hand. We just were told this from childhood, and for some reason we accepted it. Right? but a very powerful entity could just be lying to us all the time. Like, there is no reason why such a powerful entity would not come and say, like, I'm Allah. Okay, sure. Why should I believe that? Right. Also, if all of a sudden, the brain in the vat thing all of a sudden becomes another option as before. Like, if all the laws of the universe that we thought has consistently being applied all the time, all of a sudden we see all of that is out the window, I would actually be more likely to be like, okay, maybe we're in the goddamn matrix more than the Allah scenario. Maybe these are the programmers just playing mind tricks on us. Like,
Right.
all of these are possible. All of these are possible.
Of course. Again, all of those things are possible. We could have been made out of antimatter instead of matter, right? Everything is possible, but I'm saying we can only go by what we can understand at that given moment. It is a simpler,
at that moment we can't understand anything.
It's a simpler way to live your life, to believe with that kind of evidence, as flawed as it might be hypothetically, it would still be a better option to go with that, and with a certain degree of belief, with a certain degree of positive belief that yes, this could very well be Allah as we know it, because I agree. It very well could be.
I said from the beginning that it could be. Obviously, it could be. But it could also not be. But let me see what other people are saying.
Nitpicking unnecessarily.
No, it's not unnecessary.
You love splitting hairs. That's what you do.
It's called being skeptical and logical. So somebody's saying Armin is correct. Clarke's third law. Okay, I didn't know that actually has a name. Thank you for that. Aliens from a distant galaxy could move whole solar systems.
Yeah, we already covered that.
They would look like gods to us.
Yeah, but they wouldn't say my name is Allah. They would have no good reason to say that.
They might come and say, like, hey, maybe they might come here and you're like, that might be an easier way for them to accept us.
Accept us? No. It's a lot easier for us to accept them as aliens rather than some supernatural being.
No, if there's already a religion. So if there's already, I don't know, maybe their calculation shows that if there's already
their calculation would be better. Like, it makes more sense for them to say that I'm a very
super. You don't know. They know better than you. They have better calculators.
If they've traveled millions of light years, they are probably better than us.
It says any god worthy of acknowledging its existence would be able to prove its existence to me without messing with my free will. Okay.
Free will.
All right. Sure. Like, wait, the concept of God is supernatural and relies on hope. Relies. I think you mean on hope. If he showed up in reality, that's no longer theory. Okay. Saying Allah over and over again doesn't make it real. I mean, nobody said that though. Okay. Anyways, I have some Patreon questions that I want to go to, but before that, you have a video that you want to share.
Guys, I have a couple of videos.
Okay, so we have a video.
Let me warm up. So maybe start off with one of your patron questions, because this is I got some feedback that Haris is almost dumbfounded when these patron questions are read out to me, because this is the first time I'm reading. I haven't had time to think about it. So like Armin looks very well versed because he might have read that before, but he's smarter than me too. But I actually
it's not that I'm smarter than you. I actually consume some red pill content. Like I try to, and I see the responses to them, and I'm familiar with them.
I'm just thinking on the fly, right, just then and there, because that's why a lot of these questions I actually have no answer or no valuable input.
Valuable.
Well, no, really. Okay, well, I don't know. When you are arguing with someone, and especially someone like Armin Navabi, like, it's a very difficult position. You find yourself in a very difficult position. Now, I'm telling you, like, I don't feel like this. I don't feel like this about anyone. Like, I've argued with so many Muslims, online, offline, whatever. I never feel like, I always feel like, yeah, I got you. But with you, I never feel that way. I never do.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I do. You're one of the main people I enjoy discussing things with.
Yeah, because you keep beating me. That's why.
No. I appreciate that compliment.
No, but okay. Before we go into that, let's talk about last week what happened towards the end. Can we talk about it now?
Yes.
You remember?
Actually, we do have a question by Ibn Qiyam as well today, so we can answer that.
Really? Okay. Don't bring him on in my presence, because I'm still fuming at his behavior, calling me piece of shit or whatever. He just went off. I knew that I had a feeling that rage or that aggression or that abuse was coming from somewhere else. And that was obviously, he called me and Nuria 5 or 6 months ago when we reviewed the movie The Lady of Heaven, and I was just, and I think Nuria shared the point that look at them, the way they're forcing people to take the movies like this off. And yeah, we were criticizing that, and fair enough. And yes, they are allowed to protest, and we are also allowed to say that they're being dickheads, basically. And that's basically what we said. And I don't know what position this guy comes from. I know he's not here to defend himself, but he can probably defend himself at some other point on Atheist Republic, or create his own channel. And maybe, and he had the form on that guy. Called me a coward. Guy comes up with a pseudonym and doesn't even show his face and calls me coward. But anyway, regardless, so he's been going at me ever since. And I think he sent you an email a while ago and like, oh, Harris is being bigoted. He said all Muslim, and then I sent you that video, Armin, in which I specifically said hashtag not all Muslims, because I'm careful of idiots like this guy who actually deliberately take something out. But because the fact that he could not see me say hashtag not all Muslims, that actually means that, whatever worldview he had, he just wanted to, he was only seeing what he wanted to see, or he was only hearing what he wanted to hear. So there was this built up anger towards me that he already had. So last week I was talking about, Armin Navabi showed a video of some Iranian shopping mall, and I said, oh, they look really good. Like they look very civilized. And then I made a under my breath kind of comment, which was like, oh, Pakistan doesn't look that civilized. And I know, Armin, you probably also felt a bit uncomfortable with that comment, which I understand and I appreciate, that you don't want to call anyone uncivilized or something. But I would say
let me be correct. Okay. I don't mind saying that they're less civilized, as long, but I think that if you're going to make such a comment, we have to also follow up by saying
that they're not incapable,
that the reasons are poverty, culture, and it's not innate, it's not biological, it's not genetical.
I agree.
So I think clarification is always needed.
That was good. Had it come to that, or probably no, it's good that you said that, because any culture that you look at, and if we go by the typical definition of civilization, back when the Indians and Chinese were civilized, or Sumerians were civilized, the rest of the world wasn't considered civilized. And then the Romans and the Greeks were considered civilized, and then the blonde-haired, blue-eyed Germans and Gaulish and Anglo-Saxons were considered barbarians. And that's fine, because you're comparing that with the immediate surroundings and by the standards of the time. But by today's standards, we wouldn't consider Romans civilized by today's standards. So by today's standards, we're going to look across the board. We're going to look at the Western world. We're going to look at Africa. We're going to look at so many other cultures as well. And we can say that certain civilizations or certain societies are less civilized. And I gave those reasons, and that's not biological. I'm Pakistani as well. I'm capable of being civilized. I'm capable of standing in the queue and driving in my lane. And when I bump into someone, I say, "Oh, I'm sorry," or "Thank you." I don't spit on the street, or at least not when someone's watching me. or I'm not gonna litter, or like all of those things. These things, when you look at, and I'm only going to talk about Pakistan because I am Pakistani. I'm not going to, and then he tried to trap me by saying, "Oh, do you think Africa?" This is the same question that Arun Ra had this debate with Daniel Akikachu, and then then Arun Ra showed the 10 most livable countries, and they were all Western countries. And then Daniel Akikachu, cheap shot. So you think the Latin Americans and Africans are, less capable or something? And again, Arun Ra was taken aback, but it's like I would have said, well, I'm not going to make specific comments, but I'm only judging by livability standards. And yes, and these are the indicators: Human Development Index, and what the education is, the life expectancy, all these factors involved. Now, yes, there are other countries lacking in that, and that's not to say that they are biologically inferior and they can't create this. And there could be other reasons, colonialism or whatever. There could be whole bunch of reasons why they haven't been able to catch up with the West. So we acknowledge that, but at the end of the day,
Islam has got to do something with that.
Yeah, Islam's got a lot to do with that as well. So, but at the end of the day, the most civilized countries are the Scandinavian countries or the Western countries. We look at it, and America is not I wouldn't put America in that list, because America has so many these areas where
America is more civilized.
No, holistically, yeah, but it's very fragmented. Like, I mean, there are areas which are not that civilized. You could say that this is not civilized. Well, what's that? Skid Row? You don't want to go there, do you?
Okay. Here I can tell you this. In Pakistan, there was a time where in that area used to be the most civilized part of the planet.
Yeah, we had Harappa, we had Mohenjo-Daro, we had running water, we had sanitization. By the standards of the time, those parts were great. And then we had the Ganges civilization after the Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa and the Indus Valley civilization. So yeah, that's fine. But this guy got caught up because probably he took it too personally. He took it too personally because he might have thought that, oh, he's calling my father or my grandfather or his ancestors less civilized. Here's the problem with these kind of people. These guys would love someone like Noam Chomsky, who would criticize his own society, America, or George Galloway. These guys are their heroes. They're like, yeah, look, America's evil. Yeah, we are mass murderers. We are invading countries, blah, blah, blah. They love those people. But when people like that from their own community say that, like me, that, oh, Pakistan is very uncivilized at the moment, then they're like, oh, that's so racist. Imagine, would anyone say to George Galloway, you're racist and bigoted towards white people? No. They would say, okay, you make some points that make sense. Yes, that's fine. Would you say anti-Zionist Israelis that who speak up for the Palestinians? Would you call them, hey, you're racist and bigoted towards your own toward Israelis? No, you won't. Or would you call them anti-Semites? No, you won't. These guys won't. And as a rule of thumb, you would not say that. And being a Pakistani and also partially Indian as well, you can call that. I take more liberty in saying that, okay, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, these countries are lagging. Yes, they might be able to catch up. And a part of making them catch up with the rest of the world is to criticize, identify, point out these problems, and hope that people will listen to you, or people will think about these things and they'll improve on it. So I mean, imagine that. Look at this. Can you show me this anywhere in? Can you show me this anywhere in a Western country, like where you look at these? Okay, this is probably not the worst one. Look, traffic in India and Pakistan is described as organized chaos. I mean, anyone who can drive in these places is, every time when I went back to Pakistan, every time I had an accident, because you're not used to it. Even though I did I did get my first license there in Pakistan, but I didn't stay. I only drove there for about 6 months or so. But then you get used to it. But then when you go from here and you go back and you drive a car there, I guarantee you're going to have an accident. So anyway,
would you say India is more civilized than Pakistan?
It's difficult to say, because there would obviously be pockets. There would be areas where India is definitely doing far better than. On average, India will have a higher score, but I wouldn't put that in the same category as the West, of course. And I would put China slightly higher, but again, that's a totally different kind of a totalitarian kind of world. So I would take less civilized India than more totalitarian, by force civilized China.
So you think Iran is more civilized than Pakistan?
Well, look, I don't know much about that. I just made a, like as I said, I just made that passing comment by just looking at one particular video. But it does somehow look like that there's more awareness in Iran. First of all, they are at least they're educated enough that the condition they're in, they shouldn't be in that condition. They're doing something very actively to change that. So that's definitely a plus. But also, I think by looking at some traffic videos or whatever, I think they probably look more civilized. But again, I don't know. I don't know much about that.
Iran is, but you would also agree that Iran is less civilized than Europe, most European countries.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's so much they need to catch up on. Yeah,
I think that's a fair point. I mean, these are not. I mean, okay. So, for example, right now, Iraq is less civilized than most European countries, right? But there used to be a time where most of Europe was less civilized than Iraq.
I said that,
yeah. So, and it can't be innate if it used to be the other way around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like as I said, like Persia secularism. Cyrus the Great at that time. We had running water in Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, which is like going as far back as 1500 BCE. So that's quite amazing. At that point, if other people had known that there is a city like Harappa where you have a bathroom on the top floor and you can actually poop, and then it just goes out the city, without electric pumps. You would want to live there. I wouldn't want to live in a place where like I have to do poop. How what was that Medan called, where where the wives of the prophet used to go? I forgot what it's called. Where they used to go and poop on the fields in the fields. Yeah. Anyway, nice. I think let's move on.
All right, so I'm going to ask the first Patreon questions. And guys, if you want us to answer your questions, please consider becoming a Patreon on Secular Jihadists. Also, support Harris Sultan on Patreon. Also, if you want to come talk to us live on air on Secular Jihadists YouTube channel, you could become a member. And then at the end of the show, I will post a link to our YouTube members if anybody wants to come talk to us live on air. And also support Harris Sultan's channel and become a member there. We'll also be answering super chats. If anybody wants to ask a question mid-show, if you send us a super chat, we will stop what we're like. The next thing we will do will be answering that super chat. Anyways, let's go to the first Patreon question. So first Patreon question is this. What do you think of the modern heterosexual dating scene? Ooh. Men and women seem to both be at odds. Many men struggle to get any attention whatsoever, and many women feel completely used for sex and can't attain the commitment they seek. Okay, the first thing I want to mention is that a lot of people have been brainwashed by the red pill community to think that this is a modern problem. Okay,
it's always been a problem.
This is not a modern problem. This is how it has always been. A few men getting almost a lot of the attention has been, other men going out and dying in battlefields and doing hard labor where lords and rich men getting having harems. This has been the history of the human race. So I think I would actually suggest right now it's more fair. It still might be a bit unfair, but I think men have it better now than they had it before, right?
Look towards the camera.
Look towards the camera. Right now, back then, if you had less access to everything, and there was no way of getting out of it, right? And now you have less access to wealth and prosperity and women and a lot of other things compared to other men. But there are more ways. Again, I don't want to act like it's equal for everybody and anybody could just get out of their situation and prosperity and all of this is available to everybody. But especially on the dating scene, a lot of the men who complain that they can't get laid and stuff, if you actually analyze their lifestyle and what they're doing, there's a lot that they're not doing that could increase their odds. And these days, the things that you could do is available as guides everywhere. But the red pill community might not, is not the right guide, because the red pill community kind of portrays you as a victim, as something that is happening to you beyond your control, right? So don't go for that advice. There are actually some much better advice, like exercising, taking care of yourself, figuring out how to communicate. These guides are available for even compared to 20 years ago. These are things that you used to have to pay for to be able to understand how to do, right? How to take care of your hair, how to get an outfit that fits, that makes you look a little bit decent, how not to come off as a creep, how not to be awkward. These are all one YouTube video away from you. And you're people these are a lot of these men who are complaining are just sitting at home and eating garbage food and playing video games, and they have giant bellies and messy hair, and they're oh yeah, there's all the Chads are getting all the women and there's no hope for me. Well, maybe if you made an effort, you might not be getting, I don't know, you might not be getting laid all the time, but you wouldn't be sag pack of potatoes like that you are right now, you would have some chance, right? You would have, you don't have to, like, I think for a lot of these men, it's all or none, right? It's either the most gorgeous, ideal woman, once every week with a different woman all the time. You look at all these men that are getting laid off and like, oh, I need to have that. I can't have that. Okay, I guess I'm going to be an incel for the rest of my life, right? Oh, the whole world is like programmed against people like us, right? Well, and this is a sign of modernity. Modernity has turned against men. Well, modernity has made the world a lot better for men. The world was against you men much, much worse. Like the fact that somebody is not poking a sword in your back because the Lord told you to go die for his land is already shows that you have things better right now, right? So the fact that you are not dying in your 20s as a virgin and you still have a whole life to look forward to, and maybe eventually you will stop being such a sad crybaby, and you're gonna live long enough to grow out of this pathetic phase and actually go and find somebody that might not be like a woman that is 10 out of 10 or 9 out of 10, but still somebody that you could love and she could love you and you could make each other happy. The fact that you still have that shot, that shows that you have it better than any time in history. So stop crying about yourself, your situation, and go do something about it. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with everything you said, and I think this is how we complete each other. Because I can add something on that, which I think that you probably left that you didn't say. There might be in the West, there might have been, you could blame modernity a little bit, because let's have a look at slightly less modern societies. Like, I'm going to go back to India and Pakistan. So we had this concept of arranged marriages. And, like your mom will always find the best girl that she can for you, and vice versa. And because there's strong social groups, so once you're married, you're locked in for life, and it's harder for you to divorce and separate. And then I don't think, you're going to live happily ever after either, because your grandparents and the generation before that. Another point is, those guys were also not getting 10 out of 10 all the time, because I've seen plenty of arranged marriages, and like of my uncles and so many other people. The standard the standard protocol was that, okay, the more educated the man is, the hotter the girl for him. That's how it's going to work. I saw that my uncle was a doctor. Like he got, his standards are really high, and they were going for, okay, we need this and this and this kind of. I'm not endorsing it, by the way, but people who are in India and Pakistan probably wouldn't relate with that. And then one of my uncles was, he wasn't that big of a deal, and he okay, whatever. So according to them, I'm just saying that's how the hierarchy works. Now go further back, like 300 years ago, 400 years ago, you had a little freaking village, and you had like freaking 15 women to choose from. Who do you think the guy with a big belly and who earns the least amount of money is going to get the prettiest girl? No, he's not. He's also going to get the least prettiest girl, and the guy who's the strongest, who's the most alpha or whatever, he's going to get the prettiest girl. So that has always been the case. I think the only problem now is with the modern world, because everything is so amplified. Like you can open up a Twitter or Tinder or Hinge account, and then like, okay, swipe left, right, swipe left, right, whatever, and then you're likely and this is true. And I actually did do a bit of research, and then there was this woman who actually pretended to be a guy, and she used the photos of her friend, male friend, and he was a very, typically what you would call a Chad, like he was a decent, good-looking guy. And even then, she said that, oh, hang on, a girl wakes up to 100 matches, and then she picks, okay, which one I'm going to go for. Obviously, looks or ambition or a good profile might matter in that situation, might help her make a decision. But a guy is lucky to wake up, a giga chat like that guy would be lucky to wake up with 1 like or 2 likes or 2 matches. That's just the way it is, because men are going out there to get girls. Men are the instigators in that, whereas women have, And again, you look at across, and it's biological as well. Look at across all mammalian species as well. Like two male tigers are fighting with each other, two rams are butting heads with each other to get the female, and then the female goes with the victorious tiger or bear or the ram. So that has always been the case. But I think now, back then, like if you didn't get a girl, you'd be like, yeah, well, you keep trying. But I think we have become such an entitled race, or we've raised this generation of entitled brats that like, I can't get a girl. Well, you didn't. I asked her out. I became a creep to her. She didn't say yes. You know what? I hate all women. And then they just go back. They give up. Where else? Let's try something else. We all want to be rich and successful, but has anyone ever said, actually, losers actually do make arguments on that too? Oh, there's so much corruption up there. I can't, like that guy became so rich and successful because he was corrupt. He had the right links and all that. I'm a loser because I'm an honest man. Whatever. People will always make excuses for their failures, but the winners are grinners. Winners go out there and they get it. I've seen not so very easy on the eye looking guys. But they have confidence, they have belief in themselves, and they go out, they walk up to girls, and they're like, yeah, the girls are mesmerized by them. And then I've seen really good-looking guys, and they're just standing at the bar and just staring at that girl, sculling these drinks down, and and when they do muster up some courage to go up to a girl and chat to her, she's like, oh, you know what, stay away from me, creep. So it's you just got to understand, you got to have faith in yourself, just like everything else. For that job, there are 100 applicants for the position you're going for. And you have to be the best for the interviewer to give you the job, and that's the same with women as well.
Yeah. Also, the second part of this question, and many women feel completely used for sex and can't attain the commitment they seek. But again, like look at this being this is being attributed to modern dating scene, but think about compared to before. Women used to be sold as sex slaves in the market. Okay, so I don't know how bad the modern dating scene is for women to feel like they're being used.
But hang on. But let me be devil's advocate though. But let's just ignore the sex slavery part. But let's just go with normal marriages.
No, even normal marriage. Okay, no, I was going to get to that. Even normal marriages used to be like just a version of being sold in the sex, as a sex slave. Just a little bit. Marriage used to just be a higher level of selling you as a sex slave, like a more prestigious sex slave.
But it depends on, but if women don't see it like that, or maybe you could say that, well, that's what the in-house misogyny, or as modern feminists would like to tell us. But
women did see it. Like, women did see it as them being tools, whether it's family alliances, political alliances,
then why do we
contracts? This was not about most of history. Let me finish the sentence. For most of history, it wasn't women weren't like, I choose that man as my husband. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah. These decisions were made for them. So women, I'm not saying women shouldn't be complaining about how things are. Everybody has the right to complain because that's how things get better, right? But I don't think this should be blamed on modernity, because women right now have it better, just like men have it right now better than they ever had it in history. Women right now also have it better than they ever had it in history. So this is not a modernity.
I agree with that. But you could also see that's going with the assumption that every woman is unhappy with her husband. But people do become accustomed to the rituals.
That's not my point. My point is that it wasn't their choice. Their choice was not relevant.
Yeah, but
now it's all their choice.
Yeah, and I agree. And this is why I say freedom comes with a cost. So yeah, that is that's the price you have to pay.
You think people were happier with that choices? Is that what you're saying?
Huh?
You're saying women were happier when they had less.
No, I'm not saying that. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying they settle. No, I'm agreeing that they could probably settle for less, and they would think that this is the only way and this is the best way to go forward. Because there is also a tendency for women to say that, okay, I want a stable household, I could be wrong, and some feminists might disagree. But there is a more tendency of men to just sleep around, despite of having a wife, whereas women may not want to. The default position might not be that. But anyway, besides that point, what I'm saying, that freedom has a price. And for example, if a woman wants to have a choice, like, okay, I want this guy, then she runs and she's gonna make that decision for herself without leaving her dad or brother to make that decision for her. Then if she's gonna make that decision for herself, she does run the risk of that guy, just having a casual relationship with her and then running away, and not staying with her. So that's the price you do have to pay. Whereas in a strong family system, okay, father has made the decision, and on the other side, yes, mother has made the decision for the groom's father, mother have made a decision as well. So now, because the families are involved, there are a bit more pressure on the couple to stay together. Otherwise, you're gonna involve her family,
but
his family,
that's not ideal, though.
I'm not saying that's ideal. I'm saying that does. I'm a massive fan of divorce, and this is what I'm saying. I'm happy with this side. I would say, okay, so yeah, the odds are that the guy may just have sex with you and might leave you. This is a possibility, but that's the price we have to pay. Otherwise, the alternative we have is a Taliban-esque kind of society where your parents are going to make a decision for you, and that's it. You may not be happy. It's just like, and you only get one chance at it, most likely. One or two chances at best. If you get divorced and remarry again, so your parents have made the decision for you, and you may not enjoy that.
Yeah, I get it. But anyways, what I'm saying is that things have gotten better. Okay, and again, that's not the reason. I'm not saying people shouldn't be complaining because things have gotten better. Okay, you could still complain about how unfair things are, but don't. There's 2 points. Okay, first of all, don't blame it on modernity. Modernity has made things better compared to before, not worse. 2, just because the system is still stacked up against you, that doesn't mean that you can't make things better for yourself. Okay, you have a lot of wiggle room, and you have a lot more wiggle room than before. Yes, it is unfair. Some people have certain privileges that no matter how much effort you make, you're not going to get to their level. Okay, but that doesn't mean there is no way that you could increase your odds and make life better for yourself. Right? That's what I think. But some people are.
Last comment on that. I just want to say, there was a Channel 4 documentary. It's on YouTube, but only available for UK viewers unless you use a VPN. But so that documentary was about incels of Britain, and I forgot the numbers, but there was a huge number, and this guy was interviewing these incels, and they had this face mask on because they didn't want to reveal their identity. This guy was complaining about Stacey's and like hot chicks who only go for the bad guys, and he was a loner, and no girl or no, he didn't even have male friends, let alone getting a female friend or girlfriend. And he was basically, his complaint was that I can't get the hottest girl. I was like, I mean, okay, maybe like we say that we hear that all the time, like, oh, women should lower their standards. Okay, why are you telling them? Because you are of a low standard man? Is that why you say that? Hey, you should lower your standard and fuck me instead? That's not going to happen. So maybe men should do that too. And I think that is how nature works. That the second strongest tiger is not going to go for the primary tigress after he has a fight with the other tiger and he loses the fight. Then he's going to go to the next tigress, and then he's going to go to the next tigress, and that's how it works. That's how nature works. If you want to get the hottest girl, well, lift your social status. You don't necessarily have to be Hrithik Roshan or Chris Hemsworth or Will Smith back in the day. You don't have to be like the top specimen. But you can raise your. Who was the guy who married Anna Nicole Smith? He was a billionaire.
So Darko is saying this is such a complicated topic, and people seem to overgeneralize the issues based on their own experiences. Well, here's the thing: overgeneralization is exactly why some people think that they can't do anything, right? So what the red pill community will tell you is like, women are like this, okay, and whatever you say, women are like or men are like, that is going to be wrong, okay? Because women are very different from each other. Men are very different from each other, right? And because women are very different from each other, the advice that there's something you can do, okay, that advice is not a generalized point. Like it's accurate because there's variety in women and there's variety in men. The idea of the red pill community are saying like, oh, women are like this, so therefore you're screwed, or therefore this and this and that. That is not wrong. That or like that is extremely wrong. Sorry, because they try to portray you as a victim. But once you understand that there's so many different kind of women, then you understand that, okay, well, just because these bad experiences some people have had with women, that's not the entirety of the experience. There's so many other women. Okay, there's so many other women, and they don't want the same things, and they don't behave the same way. There are many women out there, I don't know, and many, that are ideal for you. And if they had met you, okay, if you do a few things, they would want you in their lives, right? So that realization is very important for people to get off their ass and do something about it. I understand some people in the live chat are saying that, oh no, relationships are overrated and they're happy to be single or whatever. Well, we're not talking about that. Like, we're talking about people who are single and don't want to be single. And also, this is not just about marriage. We're talking about relationships. People, even if you say, oh, marriage is outdated, marriage could become outdated, okay? But the idea of having a partner in life that you're also a sexual partner with, that is not outdated. That is like, that's going to be with us for as long as we're human, right? Like the fact that we need sexual sex partners that are also our life partners, that is so ingrained within our psyche that it's not, again, not all. Some people are asexual, some people don't need life partners, but most of us need that for a healthy mental state.
I just want to address this point, and then we can move on from this. Harris assumes women pick based on looks. I actually don't. I actually said the opposite. I said raise your social status. This is why I gave the reference of the late husband of Anna Nicole Smith, who was like 80 years old, and as far as appearance goes, I mean, surely that wasn't it. So yeah, women do look for other things, probably more so than looks. Yeah, but also it's probably not advisable to smell a BO and have bad breath to go on the day. So you don't have to have a six pack or anything. But having said that, you can if you have lifted your social status, then yeah, you're likely to do well. All right, let's move on to the next.
You don't have to have a six pack, but not being obese, even if it's not necessary, it helps.
Body shaming.
Well, I mean, if you're not doing anything about it, then yeah. Okay. So here's the thing. Okay. Somebody who is obese, okay, but is making an effort, there's no shame in that. Like, I would rather see somebody obese. If somebody obese is in the gym, okay, I would clap for that person because they might be obese, but like they're not just taking it, right?
There is nothing better than those transformation videos. Like, I literally sometimes, I'm reduced to tears when I see the journey that some obese people go, and then they go like, there was this one video that I saw on Instagram. This guy said I tried everything, whatever, and he was morbidly obese. And then he went away, he said, to Asia or something for 2 years, and he came back very thin, like very, very healthy looking, and his mom started crying, his friends started crying. I was like, wow, this is it. So kudos to that guy, because yeah, I mean, what is life if not improving yourself?
We got a super chat. Thank you so much, Secular Sakai, for the $5 super chat. Question by Secular Sakai. Yeah.
I don't get any love these days. I'm not.
Guys, give super chats. Give super chats to Harris as well, please.
Nobody loves me anymore.
Guys, super chats for Harris. Secular Sakai saying, if Chechnya and Dagestan ever gain independence from Russia, do you believe they will be theocracies, EU alignment, or Turkey and the Middle East? Chechnya, I heard. Chechnya, I'm not very hopeful. Okay, Chechnya. Again, I don't know what will happen. Things might, you might get surprised, but I'm not very hopeful with Chechnya. Chechnya's both the people who seem to be successful in leading Chechnya and the ideology of its people seem to be a recipe for, a bad society. But again, things could change dramatically in a couple of years. So I'm not gonna.
There are people in Chechnya who are very anti-Ramzan Kadyrov, and
yeah, but they are extremely. But they're very Muslim,
very religious. Oh yeah,
very Islamic. Yeah.
Oh yeah. They torture LGBTQ community and
no. But I'm saying the people who are against the dictator, they're also extremely Islamic. So I don't know if
it goes both ways. But yeah, look, I mean, I'm not the expert of that, but it's a bit harder for them to be a bit more EU inclined because of the geographical location as well. They're not in Eastern Europe either, so the kind of, but not really, because I don't have a final answer to it. But yeah, you're right. I would probably think that a country that has been religionified, if that's the word, that much, especially with Islam, it's difficult to pull it out over a generation or two, or over within one revolution. I don't think that's likely.
Yeah, I'm not very hopeful. I think, and I don't know. I don't think this will happen. I mean, it has become less likely than before with Russia's likelihood of collapsing. Like what happened to the Soviet Union might now happen to Russia.
A lot of pundits are saying that. And by the way, speaking of which, it just reminded me of. So I created this channel, and I'm looking forward to this one. It's called Geopolitico. I'm just making videos on Russia and probably what's going to be happening in China. I'm a little bit hopeful. I'm filled with passion right now, but I don't know. I may not. I may not carry on with it. But I'm actually planning to upload at least one well-researched video. Like currently, the second video got like something like 580 views or something, so which was encouraging. So yeah, please sign. I'll include the link in the description. So if you are interested about Russia, I'm fascinated by Russia. I've got like 3 books on Russia and Russian history. I think it's an amazing. It's an enigma, as Churchill said. It's a fascinating country with fascinating history, and what's happening in Russia, Ukraine. Obviously, I'm obviously more West. I'm more inclined to the West, and that's the common criticism. I go, why do you listen to the American BS stories? Why don't you believe the Russian narrative? I'm like, like if Russia was a democracy or there was no dictatorship as there is, I probably, I would have been interested. But the moment I see that there's a dictator at the helm, and he wants to have his own way, invades a sovereign country, and wants to, just take over, I'm not interested. Like whatever bullshit argument that you have that NATO is coming to our borders or whatever, that doesn't mean that you could just invade a sovereign country and start bombing civilians.
Yeah, I think Chechnya and Dagestan will be like a lot like Pakistan if they were their own countries. I don't know. I'm not. Yeah. Hopefully things can change there. There are a lot of terrorists coming out of Chechnya too.
Yeah, the guy who killed Samuel Paty, he was Chechen as well. There's a lot of brutality.
Yeah. Oh, we had by the way, I forgot to mention, we had a new member, Fake Sake.
Yeah, that's my YouTube member. Thank you for fuck's sake.
All right, we have another Patron question. All right. One thing that the Red Pill community talks about a lot is how the modern woman feels very entitled to the praise and resources of men. Another major topic of discussion is how women aren't held accountable. Say, for example, if 2 co-workers are having sex, only the man is punished. What do you think about these 2 topics? Well, I mean, the first one, when it comes to sexual relationships, I think it makes sense why women feel entitled. Like, if you have the goods, then you are entitled to them. Like, they're obviously when it comes to the sexual marketplace, the woman when it comes have more of what is in demand than men. Okay, so men have, I don't know, security, partnership, commitment, love. And I'm not saying women are not horny. Women are very horny and they do enjoy sex with men. Okay, but comparably, it is the men who are the seekers and the women who have what the men wants, right? So this, the demand and supply is always in favor of, it's in favor of women. It has always been in the favor of women. This is why, by the way, the fact that it has always been in favor of this balance has always been in favor of women is why the world became misogynist, right? Why we had patriarchy, okay? Because men had the muscle power, women had what men wanted, so it made strategic sense to take away the choice from women. Using the muscle power, you wanted to make sure what women have, you can take it without asking for it, right? This is why. So, yeah, this is why the whole point of the patriarchy. This is why society was. It wasn't men's choices. It would naturally. If it was the other way around, if women had the muscle power and men had the sex appeal, it would have been the opposite, right? It would naturally just move to a direction. Yeah. So obviously, when we remove the chains from women, right, and we try to get rid of this imbalance of power between men and women will have now the upper hand on the dating scene. It's just natural. What the hell do you expect? So you could complain about. It's like complaining about biology. It's complaining about nature. Yeah, you want to complain about nature?
I can never get this red pill argument, and I think this is why red pill community is a factory for making incel men and bitter incel men. I spoke with Peter Boghossian, and I said I actually worry that there's going to be more incel violence, this incel kind of a violence that we've seen in Canada and Britain as well. I think, and I think we're going to see more of that. Because they're telling these incel men, they're making victims out of these incels, and they're telling them, these women are to be blamed. When a woman does not owe you sex. She just does not. If you want to win her over, you need to work on yourself. This is it. There's no two ways about it. And I'm saying, women have to pay a price for that as well, because they do have a very shorter window of time. A woman has to get or secure a man for herself or whatever, or commit in a long-term relationship or something within a very narrow window of this time, which is going from 18 till, let's say, 35 maybe, and then it gets harder and harder for her. So if she makes wrong choices, she's also going to pay a price for it. So that it's not an easy road for the other side as well. Yes, she's not forced anymore, which is for good reason. And for women, I would say, well, that's the price of freedom. Otherwise, go back and just say, Dad, find me a husband which you think is the best one, and then involve your families, and and then just be unhappy in a husband that you don't love. So yeah, it's just and you're right. If women, I always say that women have an upper hand when choosing a mate or a partner, because yes, if she's pretty, she's sexy or whatever, she's got more choices. She's spoiled for more choices.
Even if she's not pretty, a woman who's not pretty, like, or
traditionally
average,
speaking,
a woman above who's average still has a lot, is way more, has a lot more access to men than a man who's average. A woman who's average or below average has a lot more access to men than a man who's average or below average.
Yeah, I agree with that. But there's another reason. Have you seen how rich men go for younger women, half their age? Not so very good-looking men, but go for really pretty, stereotypically pretty women. But you don't see billionaire women going for men half their age, having toy boys. Like, you'll find some exceptions, but you don't.
Well, because there's something else that they find attractive. Obviously,
yes,
it's not about age. Yeah. But
yeah, exactly.
But
I'm making the point that so there's biology at play here. Don't mess with it. Just go with it and improve on yourself.
Yeah, it's almost like complaining about this is almost the same as complaining about the fact that you have to pee and that you have to eat. Like, oh, so unfair. Why do I need food to stay alive? It's such an inconvenience. Like, okay, sure.
Or in a social setting, complaining about not getting a job. I attended 10 interviews. I didn't get a job. Mate, improve on your skills or do something. If it's not working this way, change your ways. Do something.
Yeah. So the second part is saying, the second part about another major topic, women aren't held accountable. I mean, it's true. It's true that
it is true.
There are many things in society. I don't know exactly about this example, but in many more advanced, more progressive societies, there are many things that are in an attempt to make society a lot more fair to women. They have made, in some cases, they have made it unfair to men. Okay. I'm happy to see that is actually being addressed. Like, these overcorrections are being addressed to bring it back to equal opportunities and so. So I don't think, but the overcorrections is like temporary and it's expected. Whenever you're trying to fix a disadvantage, form of discrimination, there will always be overcorrection. And again, it's fair to complain about these things, but as long as you're doing, as long as you also acknowledge when it's being fixed, and you are not just mentioning it, because when within the red pill community, when they see certain things in society that is unfair to men, they use it as a way to cry victim. Like, it's a victim. It's amazing because a lot of these people are right-leaning people who look at the left and they say like, oh, it's victimhood culture. But the entire point of the red pill community is for men to act like they're victims, right?
Yeah.
Even if there are many things in society that is unfair to men, well, there's also many things in society that is unfair to women, right? So don't use the examples of things that are unfair to men to put men against women as if we are not on the same team, right? Acknowledge that there are certain things that are unfair to men. There are certain things that are unfair to women. And instead of using them as a way to put men against women, come together and we could figure out what these are and solve it together. Men and women are on the same side. We are on the same team, okay? We're on team human. So let's see what they are and we could resolve them. Yeah.
There's just one point in this. There's just one point in this that, for example, if two co-workers are having sex, only the man is punished. Now, if a man has a higher power, then there was this Steve Carell TV series, which is loosely based around Matt Lawler's life, where he was later on. Matt Lawler was a creep, but in the movie, which was loosely based around that, or the TV show, I forgot what was the name of it. If anyone remembers, it was on Apple TV, I think, and then there was another season coming out. But it did come out, I think. So that showed that he had his subordinate woman, and he did successfully seduce her. But then he got in trouble and the overall theme was that he used his power to influence herself. It was like, yeah, but men have always done that, women like that as well. So unless he forced himself, unless he acted like a creep or something, then then fair enough. But if he hits on her or something and she likes it, she likes the attention, then he should not be punished. But here the case was a power dynamics. Oh, he was more powerful. Okay, so the other creep we had, what was his name? That guy, the guy who caused this whole Me Too thing, Weinstein. What was his name?
Right? No, I forgot.
No. That's his name. Henry? What was his name?
I forgot.
Anyway, so creep. He's in prison now. So a big movie director. Now he was obviously abusing his power. He was actually saying, if you want to get a role, then you have to do this. And then he was forcing himself. So now that's an abuse of power. But if a boss has a secretary or someone who reports to him, and he asks her out on a date and she agrees, and then the relationship goes south, then he should not be punished for it. So we do have this, and again, as you said, these are those overcorrections that I'm sure they're not sustainable.
Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, people.
All right.
So this is a comment interesting by V57 I want to highlight. V57 is saying, simps are the problem. Men like me, oh my God, look at the self-entitlement. Men like me do not give loose women, even the hot ones, any time of the day. Oh, wow. Good job being part of this.
Hot shot. We have an Andrew Tate here, boys.
If simps didn't put them on a pedestal, then they would change their immoral behavior. Behavior. Amazing.
Nah, there will always be simps. And men have always been simps. A man always goes out, and a man always has to make an effort.
This is very pathetic. I'm sorry, V57. This is extremely pathetic. Loose women, immoral behavior. Women, if they want to, if women know that they are wanted, okay, and they want to, if a woman doesn't want to be available or be promiscuous, that's fine. And if a woman wants to be, that's fine as well. Look at who the hell do you think you are, V57?
He's a top G.
Who do you think you are for you to be able to decide what women do with their bodies and how much they want to enjoy their own sexuality with as many people as they want? Who the hell do you think you are for you to determine that is moral and immoral? The only immoral thing is for men like you who think that they know what is best for other people, how other people should make their choices about their sex life, right? I mean, you could make suggestions. It's fine to make suggestions, but to call it immoral, that is insane. This is some religious-minded person. Like, you might be an atheist, I don't know, but your mind is still plagued by religion.
Having said that, though, simping is an art as well. Because if you are overly simping, overtly simp, then you're gonna creep out the girl. But if you're friendly, you're polite, you're funny, and there's an old rule.
This is not really about simps. Women who are attractive and most women.
I'm just addressing the simping part. I'm just addressing the simp men part, because even simps are not the problem here. Even they're not. They can do that too. But again, that's an art. I mean, if you do it overly, and then you're gonna creep her out. You're gonna be, that's just the nature of the game. Let me give you a dating advice. When you want to hit on a woman, talk about everything initially, but sex. Don't say anything about sex. Talk about your interests. Try to woo her with your intelligence. Try to woo her with your ambition. And listen to her a lot. Show interest in what she has to say. What she's passionate about, and make her feel comfortable. Don't say, "Oh, you've got an amazing rack." That's not gonna go down too well. So, or I really like your legs. Some people may not say that, but they give off this impression that like even though a woman wants to be appreciated for her beauty, but you making a move on her is enough of an indication that you do like her. So you got to be really smooth. So in other words, that guy is a simp as well, because why is he walking up to her? Why is he saying hello to her? Why is he saying, whatever? He's basically, he has shown his interest. So for that, again, appearances do matter. I'm not saying like having a six-pack or like a really chiseled jaw. Or be as genetically gifted as our friend Armin here. And I'm not talking about just that. I'm talking about taking pride in your on your appearance. Like have a good set of hair, or if you don't have a good set of hair, then shave, whatever, a good hairstyle, or no hair at all, or whatever, sharply dressed. There was a study done. I was looking that there were well-dressed men. They studied the performance of well-dressed men and men who are not well-dressed, and I mean like a suit and like not necessarily a tie or whatever, but just the aura of a well-dressed man. And they always scored better with women than men who were just not taking care of their clothing, for example. So all these things matter. These little things matter. And then, yeah, of course. And confidence is sexy. Be confident. Have faith in yourself. You know. If
all right, but let me address let me address the comment though. So V57, right? So first of all, this is one of the most idiotic comments I've ever read on my live chat. So congratulations. But the idea of women, you say loose. There's also a extreme amount of sexism here. Okay, men are constantly congratulated for being able to get as many women as they want. The men who can do that, right? But women are constantly put down and shamed for being able to do the same thing, which is absolutely ridiculous, absolutely sexist against women. And they call words like loose. Like imagine sluts, calling women loose or sluts, but yet they're using the same words. The men that are able to do the same thing that promiscuous women do are called players. Player is a positive term. Loose or slut is a negative term. This is extreme sexism here, okay? And with simps or no simps, women who are attractive will always have value to offer, okay? And that doesn't mean that that's the only value. You could be sexy and have other attributes that people value as well. But let's not kid ourselves. Like, this is not about simps. If you're attractive, okay, people like you. People want people want to be with you. People want to be around you. People want to have sex with you. People want to have short-term or long-term relationship with you, okay? And if a woman decides to share that with one partner or many partners, that's their choice, okay? But the fact that the woman who is attractive will be in demand, that is a fact of nature. It has nothing to do with simps, okay? And if a woman, before there were simps, even in women who haven't experienced like a heavy wave of simps coming at them, they will realize very early on in their life that it seems like there's something about me that people want. Okay, they will realize that very fast. So I think you've been hurt. I think somebody hurt you, right? And you feel like you've been heartbroken. Somebody like hurt you in a way. So you like, this is what V57 is very much like people in the red pill community, because they see women who are attractive and they can't get them, and they want to. This is them crying about it. Like, well, I don't want them anyways. Like, oh, they're going to something happen to them. People, oh, women like that, nobody respects them anyways. One day, maybe they're going to have such horrible lives. All these high value men are going to put them aside. And one day they're going to lose all their looks. And they're going to think like, oh, what a big mistake I made. I should have done something that made men like V57 respect me. If only I could get V57 back. If only I didn't go with all these chads. If only I could see that V57 had actually what I wanted, but now it's too late and V57 has moved on. And now nobody wants me. And I'm now alone and I have addicted, and I have like 5 babies with I don't know how many fathers. Who are these? I don't even know who the father is. When V57 came to me, I should have said yes to him instead of saying no. But now he has moved on, and he has a wonderful life with a beautiful wife, and I have missed the boat. So this is his fantasy, right? So he has been rejected. Well, hold on, no, bring that comment back. I'm not done with that.
Oh, sorry.
So he has been rejected, and this is his coping mechanism. This is what cope looks like. Right. But yeah, women who are attractive, whether you want to cry about it or not, they're automatically, biologically, inherently on a pedestal. Nobody's putting them on a pedestal. That's how biology works. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like women who are not considered very attractive or sexy or whatever by traditional standards, whatever those standards are, they're not put on a same pedestal as an attractive woman would be. This is just simple biology. Why do men like women with bigger butts? Again, like there's a clear demonstrable link to evolution. The way men's psyche work, the way men's sexometer works, and with big breasts as well, and all of these things. So some men have a preference one way or the other. But anyway, he's not. Bring up his other comment. He said that he's not a beta like us boys. I might be a beta, but not this guy. Come on, you have no idea about his score.
Well, if being beta means having the life I have, then I would I'm okay with whatever you want to call this. I'll go with that. So there you go.
And who said that being in a relationship with a banger is
such coping mechanism? Okay.
No, but hang on. Well, Charlie Sheen once said that. Remember, for every hot chick out there, there's some guy sick of banging it. I'm just saying, like I've been in a relationship with some really beautiful women, but I know that the sex part goes away after a certain time. So her being overly sexy or a banger, as you're saying it, that is not end all and be all. Like,
look at this. This guy is raging. Oh my god!
Well, you called him a you basically called him a loser and an incel and a beta. Of course, he's going to respond.
I know, but look, I touched the nerve. He's not even crying anymore. He's just like, oh, I think he's crying. I'm sorry, V57. Are you crying? I'm sorry. Oh, poor baby. Poor baby. Look at him. Oh, what's up? Oh, no.
Oh, my God. Come on.
I heard him.
V57, look, I mean, seriously, this is not an attack on you because obviously we don't know anything about you. You don't have a photo. As far as we're concerned, you're just some guy. I don't know. You might be an alpha male. I really doubt it, but you might be. But if you're not, you can be. Alpha males don't have two penises. That's not how it works. It's all about how you see yourself, and not just like picking a fight with some random dude on the internet, but actually taking pride in yourself, really believing in yourself. Go out. Don't chase women. Chase success. Seriously, if you're successful, all bets are off. I'm telling you. I keep giving you, like, I mean, billionaires can go to, look at them. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to say too much. Actually, no, I should start saying too much because, like, I don't care about it anymore.
People, look at this. Oh my God, such a baby. People who talk about being alpha are the most pathetic men I've ever met. It's just reassurance. It reminds me of gorillas that try like beat their chest, like, look at me. Okay, you alpha. Jesus Christ.
He's in a relationship. He's in a relationship with a banger already. Okay, you don't know.
People who actually have a lot of self-confidence don't feel the need to go around and tell people how alpha they are. Just saying.
And when they walk in a room, when confident people, when they walk in the room, know it. People know it. So and everyone else notices.
Yeah,
that's how you need to be.
Well, you don't have to. Actually, I don't think, like, when it comes to confidence and stuff, I think a lot of people say that, be confident, act more confident. Okay, I think that's really bad advice, because if you want to be more confident or act more confident, you have to pretend it, and that is exhausting. Okay, I think instead of being more confident or acting more confident, okay, work on becoming somebody that you actually enjoy being, and confidence will just naturally follow. So confidence is not something. Yeah,
I think exactly. That's what people mean, that be confident and like believe in yourself. This is what I said it repeatedly. Believe in yourself. Chase your goals. Be successful. When you do become successful. Again, Armin, tell me. Like, all of us have felt that. Women even more so. Even as men, sometimes when we go out, we feel like we have down days as well. We feel like, like I don't look very. I don't know. I don't look all right. So even men feel that too. Like maybe my hair a bit messed up, or maybe maybe my clothes stink when they probably don't, but it's all in your head, and you're already low on confidence. And the girl that you wanted to chat up at the coffee shop, you probably would say, no, not today. Okay, but then there are days when you feel like really confident. You're feeling like, I look like $1 million man today, and I'm gonna go out, and then seriously, you would actually do well when you go up to a woman and you would not be acting confident. You wouldn't be like deep down inside, I act confident. Yeah. You don't do that. You feel that way, and that comes naturally to you because like your head is in a good space.
Secular Seka, if you want to bring up a topic, you could just ask it and we could address it. D is also saying arrogance is unattractive. Exactly. So what
It ain't
V50
arrogance
what
if it's true.
what no, but what V57 is showing here is arrogance. There's a difference between confidence.
Yeah, because he can't back it up.
Yeah.
We don't know. V57 might have a 6-pack ab, or like a $10 million
But
in his account, and he might have a harem full of women. He might. I doubt it though. But I'm just saying.
No,
but
if
unless
somebody
you can demonstrate that.
If somebody, okay, so here's the thing. This is the difference. Okay, if you have like $2 million in your account, okay, and you come and tell somebody about it, that is not attractive. Okay, that is not confident. Confidence is something you feel. It's not something that you tell people about. Like V57 is telling you, like, oh, I have a woman. This is actually shows lack of confidence. Shows that you're feeling inadequate, and you're like, no, people, I have this, I have that. That shows desperation. When you mention these things, it shows that you have to prove yourself. Confident people, they give you the vibe, like you see it, you notice it, that they're confident. They don't have to tell you about it. They don't have to brag about it. It just comes across like it's very much the opposite of what I'm saying here.
Yeah, but no, I don't agree. I don't agree with that, because there are rich people who love to show off their wealth. They buy Rolexes,
no, exactly,
these cars,
exactly.
And they have wads of $10,000 worth of cash.
You didn't listen.
And they go there. Yeah.
No, you didn't listen to what I'm saying. Showing it off and talking about. Imagine, okay, somebody comes off. You see that they're successful.
Yeah, but they're showing that by showing off the $2 million in their
Pay
account.
attention to my words. Okay?
I know you're saying that if I just told you, like, hey, I've got $10 million in the account, but I'm not showing it to you. Then you'd be like, yeah, but that's just stupid. That's what you're saying. Yeah. So now I get that.
Yeah. Okay, so you get that. Oh, we got a super chat. Secular Sakai with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Secular Sakai. Thank you. Saying
here we are giving self-help advice, and I'm getting angry on a $5 super chat. V57, can you let's see how rich you are. Can you send $100 super chat my way?
Secular Sakai is saying, in your experiences, what are the best ways to handle trolls who attempt to take over video streams? Use their posts to make a point or ignore them?
If it serves you, then do it. Otherwise, don't. I mean, there's some trolls. If a troll is bigger than you, if someone is trolling you, he's got a bigger following than you, then go after him. But not, then probably not the best idea. And this is something all of us have struggled. Like, I mean, I don't know about Armin. Armin's got a more level head above his shoulder. But I sometimes do engage trolls. And let me tell you, every time I have engaged them, I have regretted it afterwards. So I think it is probably best if you just ignore them. It is difficult some point. I do ignore a lot of trolls too. I do. But sometimes, like, if some troll gets under my skin, then I say, you know what, fuck you. I'm gonna fuck you up. And then I end up fucking myself up. Because it's like I ended up giving attention to someone who didn't deserve my attention.
Right. So I think, like, there's multiple things you have to take into account. And one of them is your co-host, right? So sometimes I have a troll in the live chat, and I usually love trolls, right? Because they are, as long as it's about a topic that I want to highlight. Like, for example, let's say there's a hater in the live chat, and they're talking about something that is not something that is part of the topic that I want to highlight, right? So usually, if it's irrelevant, I would have to block them or time them out or something like that, right? But if I see their trolling behavior is actually highlighting about something that we're talking about, I'm like, oh, this is fantastic, because it brings up a lot of back and forth between me and that person, and increases the tension, and people love to see that tension. And it's also somewhat about the topic. So it's an entertaining way of talking about the topic, right? But sometimes I notice that even though I enjoy that, and going, like you saw what we did with the V57, I really enjoy that, right? But sometimes you have to also take into account your co-host. If it's bothering your co-host, then you have to also be mindful. If it's not bothering you, but it's bothering your co-host, I think you have to also be mindful of your co-host, right? So sometimes, even though I want to, like, for example, the fastest way you could get blocked on my channel is if you go after Susanna, okay? Ooh. If you want to get blocked, that's how you do it, right? So if you insult her in any way, it's an immediate block, because I don't want her to have to deal with anything like that, right? So that's how I block you. That's
why do you feel like that about me?
Well,
am I not a worthy equal co-host?
Well, I mean, because I think you have more experience dealing with trolls.
Susanna's pretty.
No, Susanna's been streaming for how long?
Oh, a couple of years now. A year at least. But I know. But hang on. But some modern feminists would actually see that as misogyny because I would also screw them. But I'm just saying, like, this is actually, you've touched a very important topic, and I think we should not be ashamed of it. So, for example, when I'm doing stream with Nuria, and then some people would come after me, I'd be like, yeah, I have my own way of dealing with it, or whatever. You know, like I'll be like, I'll go after them, I'll make fun of them, or whatever. I'll do some little stupid shit, you know, like I might make fun of their whatever. But when they go after Nuria, and I'm like, you know what, this is it. And some people would say, well, hang on a second, let her be, let her take care of herself. Why are you as a man taking it? Now that's some modern aggressive feminism, which is like, hang on a second, but this is just inbuilt in us. This is inbuilt in us that we, as men, will protect our friends. Not necessarily women you're in relationship with. It's just your female friends. It could be your mother, your sister, and your female friends. So yeah, I think that's inbuilt in us. We probably are a bit more protective over them. That's why you don't feel like that about me, but about Susanna you do.
Okay, I'm gonna say something that it will definitely be seen as misogynist. Okay, I think this is fair. Women require more protection than men.
Yeah.
Right. Both, not just physically, also emotionally.
Oh, that is definitely misogynist.
It's also biology.
It is biology, but the same. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, well, but okay, fair. I actually agree with that. Okay. Yeah, okay, you can shoot me too. I agree with that. But what about those women who say, no, hang on a second, Armin. What if Susanna came around and said, I don't need your freaking protection, okay? I can take care of myself, okay? Don't be like my a knight in the shining armor or some kind of crap. What would you do then?
Well, I usually, before I do something like that, I've already checked to see if that is something. If that is something, like, for example, sometimes you might get the comment like, "Oh, I don't need you white knighting me," right? So I don't need a white knight. I can take care of myself, right? So you test the waters. You see if they require that. If you get the white knight comment, then you're like, okay, you don't do that anymore. But if you see that it's either appreciated or if it's not complaining, like usually they have signals to show, like maybe like, yeah, actually they do need some. They appreciate it. Like they make it pretty obvious, I think, if they require it. I don't know. But you shouldn't insist. You shouldn't insist on it if it is not welcomed.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I guess. I mean, you have to be a world-class idiot if you can't see that. Hang on, she's not really appreciating you be, white knighting her. And you can. And again, your initial intent is not to woo her by saying, "Hey, look, baby, I take care of you." That's not your intent. I mean, that could be your intent too, but if it's not either, it cannot be as well, because you genuinely do see her as your friend and you are protective over her. And we can do the same thing over.
Yeah, Susanna and I are so close for us to be able. We know each other, like we are way past figuring out
each other. Yeah. But maybe I am a bit of a more misogynist because I didn't ask Nuri about that, but I think I just acted out of my own instinct. Like if someone would do that with me, I would engage a troll attacking me, but with Nuri, I'll just right click and block him without even responding.
Also, by the way, it's not just me. Maga is also saying Susanna has a maternal. Well, I don't want to say maternal, but like Susanna also feels very protective over me too.
Yeah, I saw that. We when we were in Cologne, Armin and I our argument got a bit heated, and then we almost came to blows. And then Susanna just came and just, she said, "You have to go through me before you." I'm making this up. It never happened.
Wait, what is this? Doorknobhead is saying evolution by natural selection made it so that women were protected more often because of the length it takes to gestate.
Yeah,
I don't know. Meanwhile, a guy is a dime a dozen. One guy can spermificate many women. Yeah, I mean, guys, this might be again sexist of me to say, but it's biology, okay? But biologically, okay, and I know a lot of men may get offended hearing this. Biologically, in mammals, most mammals, women are a lot more valuable than men.
Oh yeah,
Steven Pinker
made a very good argument for that in that book that's behind you. Better Angels About Nature.
Again, society, like in a civilized world, we should not see it that way, right? But in nature, because nature, like from evolutionary perspective, if you have one woman, right, and 1,000, so let's say you have 1,000 male mammals and 1,000 female mammals, right? 999 of these male mammals are redundant, right? You could literally get rid of 999 male mammals and you'll still be enough for productive reasons. So you could kill, like, their lives, the lives of 999 men is worthless when it comes to reproduction reason. But every female is valuable, extremely valuable for reproduction reasons, right? So you can have one man and 1,000 women and you will be fine for reproduction reasons. But if it was the other way around, if you had one woman and 1,000 men, then you're screwed. The bottleneck will be just that woman. So that's why women are a lot more, 1,000 times more valuable than men.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. Oh, by the way, D is sending you.
Oh,
we love you too.
Thanks, Steve.
All right, we should bring up the video that you wanted to. There's two videos that we want to share.
One yes.
Yeah,
let's go with that. Okay, so I want to talk about it. How do you feel? I mean, if I was a Muslim, if I was still a Muslim, I would be so angry and I would have totally given up on this conversion business, especially when a Westerner converts to Islam. And, this hype is built up and people are like, yay, this white dude or, like some Western dude is, he's accepted Islam and everything's so beautiful. Wallahi, Islam is the one true religion because look, the most successful man of today or whatever his persona is, even he is saying Allahu Akbar. I think if I was a Muslim, I would be totally over it by now. Look at this Andrew Tate, our latest Muslim convert, and this sensation. Which, by the way, I think he's playing this game perfectly well. I think he played this game perfectly well. He took the most gullible people on the planet, our dearly beloved Muslims, for a ride. He took them for a ride. Look at it. I'm sure you've all seen that clip where he's just sitting with some women and people just put up. People display the sound of Andrew Tate shouting "Haram, haram," and and he said this, so which means he actually understands what's haram and what isn't. But look at this. This is our dearly beloved Andrew Tate. He's just showing off his wonderful lifestyle and like what he's doing. The women is working out. And look at this, how alpha male, boom, boom, bang. And the Twitter comment underneath, look at this. What man doesn't want this life? Very halal life. I don't know how I get in trouble if the video keeps it going. But anyway, I mean, what do you think? I mean, isn't this
that's recent?
Yeah, that's recent. It just came out. He just posted it on 29th of November, 10 days ago.
Well, what happened to Islam?
Yeah, Islam is Islam when you want some Muslim followers. So underneath that, you see people saying haram, haram, haram. Muslims saying haram, haram, haram. But but it got me thinking that Andrew Top G, he's a top G. Hats off, man. Like, I mean, you know how to play the game. The Matrix is like the key to getting people out of Matrix is to actually pull people into Matrix and making them believe that the world is real. that's exactly what Andrew Tate is doing. I'm like, these beta male are just. I'm like, all these people who are just worshiping him. I want to know who those people are. Like, I mean, are these guys some top G's themselves? Do they have yachts and private jets or not? No. Most likely they're like this V57 guy. Most likely they're like, oh, there you go. He is actually. No, okay. So anyway,
are the Muslims going after him, or is there any like?
Well, it's hard to say whether these comments are serious or not, but there are a lot of comments where people are saying haram, haram. So some people are glorifying him as always. I actually, you know what? I genuinely think Andrew Tate's played this game really well. So you know what he's going to end up doing? He's going to take away a lot of Muslims. And he's going to Tateify them, and they're going to end up becoming some top G's within their own right, and they would leave Islam behind. And this is great. This is beautiful. I love Andrew Tate. This is the reason I actually love Andrew Tate, because he's created his own cult, and his cult can't be as bad as Islam, can it? But I was thinking, just to be logically consistent here, I was thinking about Andrew Tate. I was thinking, yeah, you've converted to Islam. He was sitting like $1 million man, and he made Mohammed Hijab his bitch. He really did. I'm sorry, Mohammed Hijab. You try to be a very alpha male. He tries to be, but in that interview, he was like, he was gagging on it. He goes, Andrew G, the specimen, the what? Like he sucked it as much as he could. Anyway, and now he's not going to say anything about Andrew Tate. Why? Because Mohammed Hijab is a cloud chaser, and there's more coming up on him. Andrew Tate, after converting to Islam, we all know how he accumulated his wealth, yeah? But through cam girls. Again, I'm not judging. I'm not like that. This other big bodybuilder dude who was just who had something wrong. He was passing judgments on the True Geordie show. That guy. Yeah, he had something against cam girls. We don't. We're liberated people, so nothing wrong with that. But it is haram, and all the wealth that he has amassed, all the Bugattis and all these Ferraris and Lamborghinis and McLarens that he's bought, and probably he's actually got a yacht too. Apparently, I doubt it. I think he rents this stuff to make these sexy videos and beat his chest, and a private jet. All this wealth that he's accumulated, that's through a haram source. You should donate it all. Which Muslim apologist has the balls to say that to Andrew Tate? Mohammed Hijab, would you say that to Andrew Tate, that, hey, you've accumulated all this wealth through haram means? Guess what his secondary source of income is, Armin? He owns multiple casinos in Romania. By the way, they've been in lockdown ever since COVID lockdown, and that's probably, some people say that's probably the reason why he actually hates lockdown so much. But they haven't reopened for some reason. I don't know if this is 3 or 4 month old information. I could be wrong now. They might have reopened. But again, that's another haram source of income. So what else does he need? The guy is doing every haram thing, and then Muslim fanboys are still like, Andrew Tate, he's a top G. Yay, what true religion? There's only one other haram source of income left, and that is maybe he needs to open up a bottle shop or something. He's got semi online e-brothel kind of thing. It's not a brothel, but okay, whatever. It's still haram by Islamic standards. He's got casinos. Maybe he needs to, come up with his own liquor brand or something. What do you think, Armin? Shouldn't he donate all his wealth? And who's going to tell him that? Mohammed Hijab is not going to tell him. He's got no balls.
All right, so let me give a contradictory view just to play both sides, and then also go against what I just said as well. Islamically, like there's no contradiction, okay, between sinning and being a Muslim, right? Technically, every Muslim except Muhammad, and if you're a Shia, the 12 Fatima and the 12 Imams, other than these few individuals, every Muslim sins, right? They're not ma'asum, so they're not sinless. Ma'asum means sinless, right? So Andrew Tate sinning, these are sins, does not make him a non-Muslim. He could still be a Muslim, but it's a Muslim who is sinning, just like all other Muslims who are sinning, which it wouldn't take your Muslim card away, right? However, this is where it gets tricky, okay? According to the Quran, you could lose your Muslim card if you deny that these are sins, right? So you can't. So if somebody is not living an Islamic life, and you say that they are not a Muslim because they're not living an Islamic life, as you are takfiring them, which is a very controversial thing to do in Islam. You're not allowed to do that, especially if you're not a scholar, because scholars, when they takfir somebody, announce somebody that is not a Muslim, they have very strict criteria for why they takfir somebody, which means they announce somebody to be a non-Muslim, right? If you announce somebody is a non-Muslim, if you declare somebody to be a non-Muslim, just because they're sinning, you are what the Khawarij did. And Khawarij are a very controversial group in Islamic history, which they went around and they called people non-Muslim just because they weren't living non-Islamic lives. And both Shia and Sunni Muslims consider Khawarij to be one of the worst sects. Horrible people, right? And even advocate violently oppressing them and fighting with them, right? So you're not allowed to go and tell, like, Muslims are not allowed to go and say Mohammed Tate is not a Muslim just because he's sinning. However, the tricky part is, according to the Quran, as I was saying, if you say this is not a sin, then Islamic scholars can takfir you and can say that you're not a Muslim, right? So here's two examples, right? Let's say you're a Muslim and you are selling alcohol in your store, and another Muslim came and done Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar to you, tried to come and guide you back to the right way. I'm like, dear brother, why are you selling alcohol? Alcohol is a sin. You shouldn't be selling it. You're a Muslim. Why are you selling alcohol to your customers? If the response is, I know it's a sin, but times are tough. I need this to make money. If you say that, you're still sinning as a Muslim, but you didn't deny that this is a sin. So you're still a Muslim. Okay. However, if as a Muslim you respond, no, who said this is a sin? This is not a sin. Selling alcohol is not a sin. Drinking alcohol is not a sin. Then basically what you're doing, then you're denying God's commands. You're saying the God's commands, the commands that they are, you're denying that they are there. You're denying that they are real, right? According to the Quran and according to the interpretation of scholars of Islam, if you do that, you're doing kufr and you have stepped outside of the bounds of Islam. You are now a non-Muslim. If you declare God's laws to be not his laws, that is the red line. So we have to see. So just because Andrew Tate is just sitting right now, that doesn't mean he's not a Muslim. But if you ask him at some point, like, why are you sitting? Hey, Andrew Tate, I thought you're a Muslim. Why are you doing these things? If he comes out and says that is not actually in contradiction to an Islamic way of life, now you have opened the doors to takfir him and say that he's not a Muslim. But some Muslims would argue, even if he does that, as an average Muslim, you can't do that. An Islamic scholar has to do that. So those are the standards.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And I'm sure him knowing when someone converts to Islam, I remember even in that conversation with Mohammed Hijab told him that, hey, all your past sins have been wiped clean. Fresh start now from the moment you said the Shahada. So now, and I'm sure they would have been, they would have told him what's sin, what's not. You can't do this, webcam girls, you got to immediately shut down that business. Casinos, sell them now and donate the money, or maybe not, keep the money, whatever. Who knows? Okay, we'll give you that leeway. So he would know about this because he loves to say haram. So that just tells you, I'm just saying that tells you that he's not interested in Islam. This is just a PR move. This is just a move to get some Muslim followers. But But I don't think hijab is going to tell him that. What do you think? Do you guys think hijab is going to tell him that? Leave the comments below.
I mean, you don't know. Okay, we can't be sure exactly what someone's intentions are. I mean, you can guess, right? But like throughout Islamic history, we had caliphs that lived very luxurious lives. Like Andrew Tate is living the life right now of many Islamic caliphs throughout Islamic history. Like they drink wine, they had a lot of sex, they had a lot of women, right? So they were considered Muslim.
Yeah, but those women were legally obtained as a war booty.
Legally obtained as a war booty.
So that's halal within Islam.
No, that would be their sex slaves. But they also had a lot of wives, right? They also had like sex with women that were not there.
Yeah, but
they drink wine.
Yeah, but that's haram though. Yeah, my point.
I know it's haram, but they're still Muslim.
Yeah,
they still saw themselves as Muslim. Do you think? Maybe is it possible that Andrew Tate? I agree with you that it's possible that Andrew Tate internally is thinking that, oh, I fooled these people. Obviously, Islam is nonsense.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, but it's also possible that he genuinely thinks Islam is the way.
Yeah, I doubt it. Yeah, of course it's possible. It goes back to the same thing. Like if a very advanced alien comes and tells us, hey, my name is Allah and I want you to follow whatever Muhammad told you. Yes, of course, it's possible that alien is just not a lion, but yes, he has his reasons to tell us the way. That's a different topic. No, but I'm saying it's the same thing. But
yeah, I know, but because we cut these videos, people are not going to know what you're referring to.
No, this is why I specifically explained the whole example. Okay. So anyway, so they'll get it. This is why I said the whole thing. So yeah, it's possible, but again, I'm gonna go by my reading of the situation. My reading is this guy is obviously has taken Muslims for a ride, and he knows, especially when you're learning Islam, he would know. There's a conversation of him talking about Muslim women wearing burqas and niqabs and hijabs, and he actually once made fun of that. But then again, he also admired that and praised that. Oh, this is how Islamic women are, blah blah blah. And then there's a whole spiel on how women should be modest, etc. So he knows this. So it's not like he doesn't know it. But then again, saying that, okay, I'll just keep on doing it for 10, 15 more years, and then I'll grow my beard and I'll become a good proper Muslim. I'm just saying that this just shows bad intent, bad faith. Anyway.
My view, my guess, which I don't have any evidence for, so that's why it's only at the guess level. So, yeah. Okay. A hypothesis is that men like Andrew Tate have very simple and naive philosophies, right? And they are very good at justifying wrong conclusions to themselves and to their audience using phrases that sound very deep and intellectual to their audience and even to themselves, but they are very bad, like they're bad philosophy. And these are usually people who get their confidence in their rationality because of the audience that they have gathered around them, because of all the clapping and all the cheering. They think that they must be smart and very intelligent, or else all these people wouldn't be confirming that all the time. So they get this very confident view of their conclusions, right? And without any background in philosophy and logical analysis and thinking, they think just because they become successful in business and also women and also audience, then their conclusions out of their philosophical thinking also has to be correct, right? And when using their simple and naive philosophy, like somebody like Andrew Tate comes up with like, I have seen the devil, like I have seen evil, and in like such evil that with that evil, like this is his philosophy, okay? With such, and I'm giving you a short version of it. With that, the level of evil I have seen can only be explained by the devil, okay? So he thinks that's deep and very smart, okay? And if there is a devil, okay, there must be a God. So that's basically his proof, his very simple, idiotic proof.
I think he said that. Right? I think he said that.
Yes. Yeah, I'm just giving you a short version of it, right? And if there is a God, therefore, the things that he values, because he's anti-liberal, right? He thinks liberalism is that devil, as associated with the devil. the forces that are standing against that, the traditions and customs that are standing against that, must be on the side of God. So he looks at religion and he says, like, religion was traditionally and historically always standing against these things that I think that are a danger to society, right? So that must be on the side of God. Well, which religion? Christianity seems to be the pathetic one, the weak one that is not actually standing against all these liberals, is actually giving in to them. That leaves Islam. So Islam is the religion that is on God's side. So that's why I should become a Muslim. Right. And I don't think he's pretending that. I do think that he's actually justified it in his own mind in this way.
There's one more point that I think that it really that he was very impressed by him. That really impressed him about Islam was that he was saying, hey, Christians don't enforce their Christianity or Christian moral principles on their people anymore, whereas Islam does. Muslims do not apologize for their traditional values. And he was like, this is great. And this was very attractive for him. Mate, this is exactly what Muslims enforce. They say, don't sleep around with beautiful women or women you're not married to, or show off your wealth and or have casinos or have webcam businesses. That's exactly what Muslims do. So you're basically saying that, oh, you love Islam for certain values that it holds, but then you don't want to live by those values. So you're basically creating your own matrix, or you're happy to push people into the matrix of Islam, but you say that you want to go in there, but you don't go in there. So this guy is obviously, so all of these things seem very contradictory and a PR move. And I'm going with, guys, a guy has taken Muslims for a ride, and sooner or later Muslims are going to realize that as well. But by that point, it would be too late. He would have pulled out hundreds of thousands of young Muslim men towards his ideology, which is a good thing. I'd rather have more mini Top G's running around than more Abduls running around. That's gonna piss off Ibn Qayyum.
Well, talking about Ibn Qayyum, he sent us a video for us to review.
All right, did he?
Yeah, because he thinks that this video proves that you are a racist. Do you want to see that video?
I'm a racist. You know what? It just doesn't matter, mate. Try that title of a racist on a brown guy. It just doesn't stink. There might stick. There might be some racist brown people too, but it doesn't stick.
Well, I mean, there are racist brown people. I know,
but I'm saying it doesn't stick. Good luck trying to prove a brown guy racist.
Okay, let's watch this together. Let me know if you have video.
Oh yeah, this is my video.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes, your video. So this video proves that you're racist.
7-minute video. It's a 7-minute video. I mean, did he send you any timestamps?
Let me see if he sent me a timestamp. Just a second. He says that, okay, so this is in the body of the email, okay? What is your opinion of this video with Harris espousing ethno-nationalist views, saying people who riot who are ethnically Moroccan? Yeah, actually, let me just read it. We don't have to watch the video. We could just read what he said, and you could just address it.
I'll see whether he's represented me fairly or not. But because he does have a worldview, I don't think he probably understand my.
Okay, let me read it. Okay, what is your opinion of this video with Harris espousing ethno-nationalist views, saying people who riot who are ethnically Moroccan, born and raised in Belgium, should have their citizenship revoked and be deported? Do you want us to watch the video, or like at least a part of the video that you said that?
Yeah, maybe play the video as well, so people can see what he meant.
Okay. 1 second. Get back then. Wow, it's taking a while to load. Surprisingly.
Play the damn video. Play it at 1.5. I hate listening to myself, but I'll do that.
1.5?
Yeah, go 1.5.
Don't copyright strike me, though.
I will. We can both copyright each other.
Morocco and Morocco won that.
Okay, no, I can hear it. Just turn it up a bit.
The whole of Muslim world, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Saudi Arabia. I don't know why these people were celebrating Morocco just because it's a Muslim country. This is how they see it. They always see everything, no matter how un-Islamic a country is. When it's Islamic versus the infidel or evil West, they would always go with their Muslim brethren. And when we tell them, why don't you go to that country? They're like, oh, no, it's not even Islamic. It's not Islamic enough for me to go there. But the evil West that they hate so much, that is Islamic enough for them to go there. Surprisingly, some people would say, yes, it is, because they have rule of law, as Islam says, even though the laws are vastly different. They have a welfare society, like Islam says, and blah, blah, blah. They're like all sorts of excuses. So they were celebrating Morocco's victory. So I'm like, okay, whatever. And then we saw this not only Moroccans in Morocco were celebrating that, but Moroccans living in Belgium were doing this. They were causing havoc. There were so many Moroccan migrants, and I looked it up, and it says something like 80,000 Moroccans live there in Belgium, and they ransacked cars. They set a couple of buildings alight. They were harassing people, beating up people. All kinds of things were happening. And I was wondering, look at these zombies. These guys were welcomed with open arms into a welfare society in a welfare country, and they were treated as their own. And this is what they started doing. I mean, shame on these people, shame on their elders, shame on their parents for raising this generation. Look at this. They turn these peaceful cities into war zones. And the only reason they're doing this, look at this, why are they doing this? If it was Morocco versus England, and then, you were celebrating that, okay. But you're celebrating against Belgium, your adopted country. I for example, Pakistan, I used to be a fan of Pakistan cricket team, but even though for a very long time, now I don't care about it as much. But I would never support, even if I supported Pakistan against Australia, because they do face quite a lot. But then when Australia would beat Pakistan, or Pakistan would beat Australia, I would not damage Australia. I would not celebrate it overtly. I would not go to my Aussie friend, even though a banter does work, but nothing of the sort. And to be fair, none of the Pakistanis I've actually ever seen do this in England or in Pakistan, when Pakistan defeats England or Australia. But what kind of behavior is this? I mean, I just can't. I only feel for these Belgian people, and for these Germans and French and all these people. I mean, they must be thinking that, where do we go wrong? And no wonder this gives rise to the far right wing propaganda. And fair enough, they have a very strong argument. They're like, oh, is that why we invite them to our countries? Is this why? It's not just a peaceful celebration or something. Even they shouldn't even be doing that, because they're rubbing that in the faces of your adopted country's citizens. You should be on Belgium's side. But no, you're doing that to hurt them, and you're damaging public property or private property as well. So would you blame these people if people said that they should be deported back? I would say they should be identified, sent back, even if the second or third generation. They should be sent back. I understand it won't be that easy, because obviously you can't really, for like the case of Shamima Begum, if she's born and raised in England, then she might not have applied for a Bangladeshi passport. So a lot of these guys, I read someone it was trending a couple of days ago, and I was reading some Belgian people saying that a lot of these guys are second and third generation Moroccans. Even then, after second or third generation, could be a right-wing woman, I don't know. She was basically saying that assimilation doesn't work, integration doesn't work. Sweden's last prime minister said that she was left-leaning liberal prime minister. She said that we failed, integration has failed. Okay, Tamir was saying, is it fascist to say if Western liberal nations fail to learn from India's tragedy, they are bound to recreate the same tragedy in their countries? It's not fascist to say, but I think it's stupid to say, because...
Okay, I think we got that part that he was referring to.
Yeah. Yeah, so I basically, I'm saying that from the far right-wing propaganda side, that this actually enables them to say that. And, integration. I actually thought about this, not about this video. There was another video that came out of Shamima Begum, and I was thinking about it. And I thought about it, even though I have no sympathy for these kind of people. But I was thinking, which I never thought before, and I thought that if we actually did do this, let's just say, because in the UK they passed a law that if you're found involved in a terrorist activity, then you would be deported, and they applied the same law on Shamima Begum. And then they said, then I said that, okay, well, once that happens, then there is no stopping them for saying that, okay, other violent crimes like rape and murder, let's just say that. And then I'm saying, okay, then that law would only apply on brown people or people whose ancestry could be traced back to 2 or 3 generations, that they come from some other non-Anglo-Saxon country or non-Western countries. Then I thought, okay, well, that would clearly create a 2-tier citizenship system where people would be where you and I would be at a disadvantage, because let's just say I do commit some sort of a crime, and then a white person commits the same crime, but I would spend my time in prison, but then after that I would not be given a chance to say that, hey, I've paid for my crime by doing time, but I would be deported back. Whereas a white person who would have done the same crime he would come out as as a person who's done his time and now he's rehabilitated, so give him a second chance. So we will have 2 tiers of citizenship, which means a white dude would have he would be a first-class citizen, and a brown person whose ancestry could be traced back to some other country would be a second-class citizen. So I thought that's definitely not a good thing. And I remember Joanna, who draws your art. She once sent me a message, and we were talking about Shamima Begum's incident, and then she said that she was against it, and she was against it probably for the very same reason, because I think she said that citizenship is sacred. Once you are recognized as a citizen, then you should remain like that. It should remain. So you should be punished. So okay, so I see that it's not that easy and probably not that wise to revoke people's citizenship. So that goes against my one little comment. But again, like, he just focused on that one little comment. But good luck.
There's apparently he says that actually I should. Yeah, go on.
Hang on a second. Let me finish my point, because my position actually evolved on that. Just a couple of days ago, I was actually thinking about that. So I thought, okay, the better solution would be, obviously, for whatever crime they've committed, and then you say, okay, let's say it's brutal murder or something, and you say, well, we're gonna put you in prison for 35 years or something. Okay, well, in that case, you should never be released. But let's say some sort of a Shamima Begum kind of a crime, okay, where she wasn't overtly involved in terrorist activity, but she was an accomplice. So you say, okay, if you do come to our country, we'll try you under our own laws, and you're likely to go to prison for 15 years, okay? But we give you a choice to renounce your citizenship and then go to, some other country after serving 5 years in prison. Then I think you've actually you put that decision in their hands, because I think any person would say, well, 15 years in England or just 5 years in prison and then I'm free in Bangladesh. I think they would choose that. Coming back to this particular Moroccan thing, obviously this is terrible. So I would apply the same thing. Okay, well, you've ransacked this property, blah, blah, blah. You're going away. You're all going away for 10 years. But alternatively, you can do 2 years and then go back to Morocco or whatever whatever other country you hold citizenship to. So I think that is a slight revision of that give them the offer, and I think that give them the offer they can't refuse. What do you think?
Okay, well, let me actually play the end part, because he's saying that we should play the end part. 1 second.
Because you can't learn from India's tragedy. That was different time, different world. And a lot of the Indian Muslims are native Indians. They are Indians. These guys, they're not native Belgians, or they're not native Franks or Germans. They are immigrants. What the Muslims of India are not immigrants. They are just as much Indian as probably you are. So no, it's not fascist to say that, but it's stupid to say that. Yeah, it's just a game. But no, it's not as well. Look, we do see hooliganism. There was English hooliganism last year in Euro finals. I was there in England when England lost to Italy, and some English fans were accusing this black English player who made a mistake. I think he missed a goal or something. I don't know what his name was, and they were saying that, oh, he cost us the game because he's black, and there were riots in the streets of England. So this football hooliganism is infamous, but this one doesn't make sense at all. This is like, you're Moroccan, your country has so it would have made more sense if they were angry and they were angry for Belgium. Then why did you lose to Morocco? It would have made more sense. But what makes it tragic is that you're saying, ha ha ha, I am happy that that the country of my forefathers has beaten my country in which you invited me. That's what makes it all the more sad. To help me produce more.
I don't know how it got worse or better. Do you think there's value in being native citizen than a non-native citizen? Do you think there's a value? Like, for example, I'm a Canadian. I wasn't born in Canada. I was born in Iran. Do you think a citizen of Canada has been born in Canada and has multiple generations in Canada, that has a European look?
Same value.
Do you think they're more Canadian than me, for example?
No, it's the same value. No.
Okay. Do you think if Iran ever plays Canada, let's say Iran's team was not representing the Islamic Republic, was actually a national team, do you think I should cheer for the Canadian team over the Iranian team?
No, you can cheer for the Iranian team.
But because the way you made it sound like they should, you made it sound like they are they ought to cheer the team that
No, that's not what I
accepted
said.
them.
No, I said celebrating by
Mhm.
destroying property. Destroying property is the problem. Actually gave the example of Indians and Pakistanis and myself as well. That, like I would celebrate it. There are matches between Pakistan and Australia at MCG, and Pakistani Australians are waving Pakistani flag, and it's all good. Nobody hates that. Everyone actually celebrates that.
So
Same
if
thing
they-
happens in England as well.
So if they cheered for the Moroccan side over,
That's
it was
fine.
Morocco. Okay,
Yeah.
you're fine. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
well, it
fine.
doesn't seem like you see. It seemed like you were such. Maybe people. I got the impression. Maybe it's my fault, or I don't know. Maybe the way you explained it, it came across as if they have to be on the side of the country that has.
No. I was specifically complaining about them destroying the property and rubbing it in their faces. I said that I would have a banter with my fellow Aussie that, hey, look, we Pakistani cricket team defeated you. That's fine. But I would not be destroying public property, private property in my joy of defeating the Aussies in Australia while being a Pakistani.
And
that's what I was saying.
Were you specifically talking about the Moroccans that were doing the destruction? You weren't talking about all Moroccans there.
Of course, not all Moroccans. No,
I
think that again, this is.
I don't think you were being racist. You were specifically talking about.
I said there are 80,000 Moroccans who live in that, and I think after that I should have said, obviously not all of them are like that. But when I said they, when I showed the video, again, that's like they. I'm saying all of them are like that. Obviously, in those videos, there were not all 80,000 there.
Yes,
obviously.
I don't think. Honestly, this is the problem I have with Ibn Khayyam. Even if you say something, okay, Harris, you sometimes say some things that I disagree with, and I think like, no, that's not the right solution. Okay, but I don't. But Ibn Khayyam just goes from 0 to 100. Yeah, you just go all the way to bigot.
He wants to prove this point.
I don't get the impression that you're a bigot from that video. I mean, I do get an impression sometimes. Like even here, I was like, you were saying some things that I was like, I don't agree with that. I don't think that's the right solution. But I never. But you didn't say anything that came across to me that you're just bigoted against the Moroccans. Maybe I'm missing something, but I don't think there was anything.
So basically, he says that I should not be allowed to say, and people like Ibn Khayyam are the part of the bigger problem, because when you don't call out this behavior, then you give the ammunition, you give the narrative, you give the far right wing nut jobs who are anti-immigration, you give them the control of the narrative that, hey, these people, that's what they do, so don't let any immigrants in. I'm not anti-immigration, and I can't be, because I'm an immigrant, and this guy is the son of immigrants. So so he just doesn't get it through his head. I don't know. He's a closet.
I think
does he get this upset when George Galloway makes comments about Israel?
I think he's too trigger happy with the racism accusation. Very trigger happy with the racism accusation, and I think it's very unfair.
But again, to be honest, I don't care because. But to be honest, I don't care. Look, as I said, and this is what I'm saying. You know why I don't care? It's because good luck trying to label a brown dude racist. You know, we live in very funny times.
Don't care about. I don't care about whether he's successful with labeling or not. We just want to check if it's true or not, right? And I don't think it's true. I do think that is. I think any punishment. So there is the idea of taking people's citizenship away because of if these are citizens, right, and if they are going out and destroying property, right? I don't think there should be a two-tier punishment system.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're destroying property as somebody that comes from Morocco but is now a citizen, the punishment that you get should be equal to a punishment that another citizen, a white person would get, right?
Yeah.
So so that's why I don't think like revoking. If you can't revoke citizenship from other citizens, then this punishment shouldn't be available to.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. But as I said, there's a better solution to that. Instead of the state should not do it. And again, this is very new to me. I just thought about it a couple of days ago, because my chain of thought got me thinking that, hang on, we have actually created first-class citizenry and second-class citizenry. That is obviously not right. But they should have an option to say that, okay, like what I said, that okay, either do 10 years or 2 years and go back.
But is that 10 years?
Give them the
is
command.
That 10? Would you give 10 years to
why whatever the actual is? So give him some incentive that, okay, we'll half your punishment or your prison sentence, and then go back. Something like that. But again, they might not take it, because I mean, if I go to prison to Australia for robbing a bank for 10 years, and then I come out, and then I have to do 2 years and then go to Pakistan. Yeah, no, actually, I think people would. I reckon they would. I reckon that's a good solution.
Ibn Qayyim saying that's the whole point. Harris is saying that a video that second generation citizens who ethnic Moroccans should have their citizenship revoked. Okay, first of all, so this is so unfair. This is so unfair, Ibn Qayyim. He wasn't talking about just second generation citizens. First of all, I disagree with the solution, and it seems like right now he even disagrees with the solution.
I came up with a better solution.
Yeah, but even before, where he had a solution that I think was wrong, okay, he wasn't targeting ethnic Moroccans. He was specifically targeting people who were responsible for destruction of property. Like, he wasn't targeting them because they were Moroccan. He was targeting them because of property destruction. Specific people within that community, not all of them. This is such an unfair interpretation of what he was saying. Again, I say that as somebody who disagrees. I don't think citizenship should be revoked at all. I think citizenship, once you have a citizen, you don't want to create a two-tier system where some people could lose their citizenship and some people can't. So that is not a good solution. But I would, if somebody comes up with that solution, I wouldn't just automatically go on to racism. He's saying no, he wasn't. If they were ethnically Belgian, they would not suffer the same punishment.
Why? Okay? This is why I said
that's why he's changing it.
Exactly.
Actually, this is proof to me that he's not a racist. Okay, because this is the reason. This is when he considered that. That's what he's realized, that this is not a good solution. So
yes.
He's like, okay,
if
you're right.
I was a racist, if I was this guy again, he just wants to prove his point of view, and that's a very good point, because that proves that I'm not racist. I'm constantly evaluating my positions, and then thought came to me independently, because I was looking at Shamima Begum's. I was thinking about Shamima Begum's news story. There was an update a couple of weeks ago or something, and then I read that a couple of days ago. And then that thought came to me independently, and I was like, yeah, that would create two-tier citizenship. So there would be one set of standards for white Belgians or French or whatever, and then there'll be another one for even a second or third generation citizen. So it shouldn't even matter first generation. So no, I changed my position.
So look at this comment. Look at this comment. This is actually my proof that Ibn Qayyim is so unfair. Okay, so it's yes, after he considered it, I was basing it based on what was in the video. All right. So imagine this. There was two. So you were considering the fact that there would be a two-tier punishment system based on people's ethnicities, right? And you thought that was racist, right? And he's like, oh, he hadn't considered it, and now he considered it. So there was two explanations for why maybe Harris came up with that answer. One, he's a racist. Two, he hadn't considered that this would create a two-tier system based on ethnicity. Okay? And you went so uncharitably with their racism explanation, even though the other explanation was also available. That is very uncharitable by you, Ibn Qayyim.
And that shows, Ibn Qayyim, that you just want to prove your point. That's what you're interested in. That video of Nuria and I, you could challenge that. You could say that these are bad positions. But for you to actually jump on and say he's racist, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It just doesn't make any sense. It was a bad position, which again, I independently revisited my position. I had never thought about it as much. But I did, and again, I have no sympathy for these people, though. I would still despise this. I would still. Okay, no, listen. Okay, yeah. Okay. No, yeah, no, maybe no. This is good. Maybe you can challenge me on that. Because yeah, I still despise those people who would go to their adopted country and they would be so ungrateful. I would still despise them. because I am an immigrant, and I'm so grateful. So, based on that sentiment, I could probably miscalculate a little bit, and this is probably the reason why I was Shamima Begum. I was like, yeah. I did once question my position on Shamima Begum as well, only because she was a 16-year-old woman when she did that. So I thought, yeah, look, she should be tried as a juvenile for making a mistake, because people can make mistakes in the earlier days. But I think
want to bring Ibn Qayyim up, or
no? Fuck him.
Okay,
Screw
so
him. He's a dickhead.
We will. Ibn Qayyim, I bring you up once Harris leaves, because you're a YouTube member. I do have to bring you up if you want to. By the way, I did provide the link for YouTube members if they want to come up, and Ibn Qayyim is here. But because Harris doesn't want to talk to you, I will wait for him to leave, and then we'll continue.
He called me a piece of shit. Started yelling at me.
Okay. We're already over time. So you had another video that you wanted to share.
Oh yes.
Can we share that next week, because we're already over time?
Okay, yeah, we are running out of
but
time.
save that one.
Yeah, because all right, okay, all right then.
All right.
I think we should wrap it up. Or you're gonna keep it running?
You wrap it up. I have to. I am contractually obligated to talk to Ibn Qayyim.
Contractually obligated. All right. Well, I'm gonna. Okay, I'm gonna. So you do have time then. You're contractually obligated to me.
Oh. No.
Contractually obligated to me. If you have time, you're contractually obligated to do the stream.
We have 2 hours. We usually do it. I have to mention something, guys. The Atheist Republic News has moved because Susanna has moved to a different time zone. So the Atheist Republic News on Atheist Republic is starting in 14 hours. Not in 1 hour, but in 14 hours. Okay?
Oh, so you don't have time.
So we have moved that because Susanna can't make that time anymore because she's on a new time zone. So just keep that in mind. Yes, I do have a little bit more time. Or do you want to continue, or do you want to? Ibn Qayyim, if Harris wants to continue, you have to wait down there until it brings you up. So Harris, what do you want to do? You want?
I want to do it because I want to make him wait.
Okay. Oh god damn! You guys, god damn it.
No, so I wanted to play this video because again, like, this is just funny. And this proves that people like Mohammed Hijab are just, they're clout chasers. This video put up by 5 Pillars, this video of Jordan Peterson, where he's actually justifying the creation of Israel. Now, it's a very complicated topic. I'm not in favor of, and I got heckled. I think I was in Norway and I was talking about it, and I got heckled by some Zionist Jew for saying that I'm against these these constantly new settlements appearing in what could be a Palestinian territory. So yeah, it's complicated. That's my position. But here, Jordan Peterson, the new love affair of Muslims, and Mohammed Hijab, and all these Muslims simping over.
Not anymore.
Even Mohammed Hijab.
Oh yeah, he's so like. His closeness to Ben Shapiro, a Zionist, has made a lot of Muslims, and his direct refusal to be a Muslim, like Mohammed Hijab invited him to be a Muslim, and he shut them down hard. So now a lot of Muslims are turning on Jordan Peterson.
No, but I'm talking about Mohammed Hijab himself.
Mohammed Hijab is under pressure not to be so cozy to Jordan Peterson, especially because of his support for the Abraham Accords, which a lot of Muslims
he hasn't called him out, though. That's what I'm saying. He hasn't called him out yet. That's my point, because we're just putting pressure. I'm just calling him out because he likes to chase clout, and this is his opportunity. So yeah, let's have a look. And fair enough on Muslims to for falling out with having Jordan Peterson, not liking him, because have a listen to what he had to say. Look at this.
The Israelis, the Jews, have done a tremendous amount of work in improving this territory. And I know there's a principle of ownership in Western common law, in English common law. And I'm not a lawyer, so I may muck this up to some degree, but I understand the principle. If you own territory, a vast swath of land, and you're doing nothing to it, and someone comes and squats on it and spends a lot of time improving it, at some point they actually develop a valid legal claim to the property itself. And so there seems to be something intrinsic to our notion of valid ownership, that if you're going to occupy a territory, you actually have to do something with it that's productive. And so that's at least part of the claim you're making at the moment, to buttress the notion that the Jewish people have a valid claim to the present.
Wow.
Well, and
There were a lot of movement back and forth,
Yes.
but the Jews have actually taken the land and made something of it.
well,
Oh my God.
Yeah. Which
Wait, what was the rest? I wanted to see what.
Oh, you want to see the
Netanyahu
rest?
said.
Okay.
Yeah,
you
I
want to
want to see
the
what
rest?
Netanyahu responds. Did he acknowledge it or did he sidestep it?
Oh no,
Yeah.
he acknowledged it, and he just gave an apartment analogy.
they held the land for 2,000 years, were kicked out.
Even
The
a
Arabs
worse
came
argument.
and conquered it and immediately lost it to others and did nothing with it. The others did nothing with it. So it was basically, they took over my apartment, okay, a long time ago. The guys who took over, who basically kicked me out, were kicked out themselves. The apartment was left barren, and many decades, in this case, centuries later, I come back to this barren mess, okay, this ruin, and I build it up back. And I not only improve it, I not only make my ownership based on improvement, but that nobody else did anything with it. There was no someone else. There practically were no tenants.
Right.
That's my argument.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that's racist. That is racist. That's collectivist mindset. Like you're talking about the Jews and me in the same way, and talking about them and Arabs, like holding Arabs collectively responsible and collectively congratulating Jews at the same time. That is such a, and
I think this is
basically
nationalistic.
reducing.
I would say this is
Arab
nationalistic.
is
Fair
racist.
enough. You
Arab
could
is
probably
racist.
say it's based on ethno-national, but there are other.
This is the
concept
prime
play.
minister that talks about us, like he's supposed to represent Israeli people, but when he says us and we, he's like removing the Arab Israelis from that equation. That's a person that does not treat the people that he's supposed to be representing as equals. That is disgusting.
I would still look at it politically, though, but I just find this argument so pathetic that 2,000 years ago, God gave us this piece of land, therefore we have ownership of it for all times. This is just a pathetic argument.
Racist.
People
That's
change.
the most racist I've ever seen, Jordan Peterson. That was racist. Talking about Jews and Arabs collectively and holding them all responsible, or
but he's looking at
like
peoples, though. But he's seeing it as peoples, though, with nationality.
That's racism. That is racism. No, Arab is a race, Jew is a race. What nationality are we talking here? We have Arab Israelis, okay? We have Jewish Jordanians. So what nationality we're talking about here? We're talking about ethnicity, not nationality.
Well, but based on religion, though.
Yeah, no, it's Arab is a race. It's
I know
religion.
Arab. No, but
it's an ethnicity.
But at the core of it, the dispute is based on religion, though.
I know. That's why they're both wrong. Exactly. What you're saying is correct. It's based on politics, it's based on religion, and it's based on land dispute, but they're making it about ethnicity. They are changing it.
No, okay. So I don't see it like that. I'll explain it.
That's what they're saying. They're not saying Muslims versus non-Muslims. They're saying Arab versus Jews. It's not about they're making it not about nationality. He's talking about Jews as if he doesn't represent Arab Israelis. Obviously, that's racist.
2,000 years ago, that's a Jewish claim. And Muslims come and they take this land. That's an Islamic claim. And based on that, Arab Israelis, what we call them, or they could be called Palestinians, who have a Muslim identity, they also lay claim to that land on basis of their religion. So, yes, they're two different ethnicities, but at the core of it, the crux of their dispute is built around religion. So but I have
what they're saying. You're saying something.
No,
else
that's what
they're saying.
No, I think that's what they mean. No, that's what they mean.
Well, that's not what you're saying.
No, but okay. So he could have just said Muslims instead of Arabs.
Well, I mean, that would be somewhat more accurate.
But I'm pretty sure that's what he meant.
Because they are feeding into racists. They know their audience.
Yeah, that's just.
What do you mean? I'm sure what they meant. That's a pretty bad mistake. That's the worst. First of all, Netanyahu has been dealing with this all his life. I'm sure he knows what he's talking about.
He did say
He's
Muslims.
Netanyahu
did say Muslims. He said Muslims came and they conquered the land.
He is okay. Play it again. When he says "my people," he agreed with Jordan Peterson.
You're talking about Jews and Muslims. It's not. Come on, Armin. It's not actually about ethnicities. It's
collective.
About.
I mean, first of all, even Muslims, you can't hold them collectively responsible.
It's about nationalities.
Let's see.
And
there were a lot of movement back and forth.
Yes.
But the Jews have actually taken the land and made something of
The
it.
Jews. Okay, first of all, pause here. These people's minds are broken. Okay, when he says the Jews have done this, okay, you cannot reward everybody within this is like praise by association and guilt by association, right? This is me, for example. Let's say, for example, a whole bunch of Persians went and did something, and now I claim ownership over it just because I'm a goddamn Persian. What does that got to do with each other? These people are collectivists, and Harris, me and you, okay, we are individualists. We think individually.
I am, but nations don't work like that. I mean, you could say that Americans
nations do work like that.
No, listen. Let me give it to you. So Americans kicked out the British. Were they being racist towards British, and they said, "Well, we are separate people now. It's us versus you."
No, look at this. You're talking about a nationality, which is a contractual agreement. Okay.
Collective. It's still collective people.
Yes, but okay. So but there's an agreement that is not based on inherent characteristics, that you're not holding people responsible. It is a collective. It is an agreement that is treating people like individuals. You know what I mean?
No, you're creating a nation state out of groups of people that you say it is us now.
But, yes.
And these are our characteristics.
Okay, what is the characteristics that makes somebody?
Okay, well, our ancestors were Europeans, but now we don't want their.
That's not part of the characteristics of.
Well, that's what Americans were. What was the revolution?
So here's the thing: when you are like, let's say you are deciding that these group of people own this part of land, right? Mm-hmm. The reason why Americanism is not a collective mindset, okay, is because you can become an American as an individual who's not an American. You understand?
Oh, no. So
and also, it's also
become an Israeli.
Hold on, no, but not a Jew. But also, it's the nationhood as a group of people is not a collective mindset, because as long as you don't hold the entirety of the people within that nation, so you could have a nation just because you have a group of people. Just because you create a group of people, it doesn't mean that you have a collective mindset, right? You could say like Group A is a thing; it's a legal entity, and Group A has 100 people in it, so that's a group. That doesn't mean you have a collective mindset. You have a collective mindset if you say, because 3 people in Group A did something, I am now going to hold all of Group A responsible. Or just because 3 people in Group A did something praiseworthy, I'm going to congratulate all people in Group A. So the creation of a group of people is not a collective mindset. Guilt or praise by association, that is what we call a collective mindset. So creating a nation and associating a land for that nation, that is not collective mindset. What these people are saying, what Jordan Peterson is saying, is that Jews did something good.
The whole Group A, the whole Group A now.
No. Certain people in Group A did something. That makes the entirety of people in Group A entitled to a land because certain people in Group A did something.
How? How's a certain people in Group A did that? Well, the first migration, are you talking about the first Jewish migration?
Yeah. The Jews who are born today are not responsible for what their ancestors did, and not all of their ancestors did that. A lot of their ancestors
you inherit that anyway. Like, I mean,
you inherit it based on nationhood, not based on ethnicity. Not based on being
but it is it's just called Jewish, but again, they see themselves as nation. Like for example,
Arab
Pakistanis
Israelis do not see themselves
Pakistanis
as Jewish.
see themselves as a Muslim nation, and that's that on those bases they can.
That doesn't mean just because Pakistan is a Muslim nation, that doesn't mean a Christian Pakistani sees himself as a Muslim.
Yeah, no, but they see themselves. So yeah, the same logic applies in Israel as well. You can be an Arab Israeli.
Yeah,
you don't have to be a Jew.
But not a Jew.
Yeah, but
exactly that's my point.
I don't get it. I don't get it because in a nation.
Well, he's not saying Israeli. He's saying Jew.
This is what but you and I both know it is built. This dispute is all about on the basis of religion.
I made my point.
I think I don't know. Maybe somebody else got it or not, but maybe they did. I don't get it because I think this is what they meant. Maybe I'm not.
Well, they should learn how to speak if that's what they meant.
Okay.
Because this is the excuse racists have. You just caught them under racism. I meant something else.
You're doing exactly what Ibn Qayyum did then. I'm giving you another possibility. I'm giving you another possibility that this is probably what he probably meant.
I think it's very unlikely. I get if you say something that is wrong. I think Netanyahu is a master of PR. Okay, Netanyahu has years of experience choosing his words very carefully. Okay, if he wants to put Jews against Arabs, I think he's doing that intentionally.
Okay, so listen to Netanyahu's comment on that.
No, wait, bring it up.
We lost it to others and did nothing with it. The others did nothing with it. So it was basically, they took over my apartment, okay?
I think he did say Muslims.
And there were a lot of movement back and forth.
Yes.
But the Jews have actually taken the land and made something of it.
Well, I'm saying something else, though. I'm saying that they held the land for 2,000 years, were kicked out. The Arabs came and conquered it and to others and did nothing with it. The others did nothing with it.
He does say Muslims at some point.
I know, but he said Arabs as well. Where is the Muslim way? Maybe he said
the guys who took over, who basically kicked me out, were kicked out themselves. The apartment was left barren, and many decades, in this case, centuries later, I come back to this barren mess. Okay, this room, and I build it up back, and I not only improve it, I not only make my own place and improve it, but that nobody else did anything with it. There was no someone else. There practically were no tenants.
Right. This is so racist. This is even more racist now that
I don't know why.
He didn't say Muslim. Okay,
I don't know why
Arabs.
Muslims. Yeah.
Okay. So he didn't say Muslim. He said Arabs, and he said they came over and took over my house. The Arabs. Okay, and he said my house. He said, and also I know when he says he actually proved that when he says Jews, he's not talking about nationality because he says we were kicked out for thousands of years. Okay, Israel didn't exist as a nation back then. Right, so he's talking about the Jewish people, not about Israeli citizens. And when he said they kicked me out, I came and built it. That means that he's excluding Arab Israelis. So this is about ethnicity to this man, not about nationality, and that's what makes both of them extreme racists.
I don't know. I think it's not about race. We know that at the core of it is about religion. Yeah. Anyway,
Harris, let me tell you how ridiculous you sound right now. We just listened to two men specifically.
I know. I'm telling you.
Let me finish my point. Let me finish my point. Okay. We just listened to two men going back and forth, specifically mentioning Arabs and Jews and their struggle against each other for years. Okay, and what they're entitled to as a collective based on being Arabs and Jews. The main key points here were Arabs and Jews.
Create the Israeli nation state.
And you listen to all of that, and you're telling me with a straight face that this was not about ethnicity.
To create a nation state, which is Israel. Yes, it is built around religion. That it's a Jewish state.
I didn't hear anything about religion.
But don't you know what Israel is created? What's the point behind Israel?
I'm just going to repeat myself. We just listened to two men constantly talking about Arabs and Jews, and you're telling me this was not about race. That is ridiculous.
Yes, it's about Israel, which is built around the religious notion that this is promised land given to us by God to this particular religious community.
You're adding stuff to the points.
That's what it is. That's what the Israeli conflict is all about. Anyway,
I just listened to two racists. I still think you're not a racist, but I think these two men were racist.
Yeah, because I'm saying I'm giving you the second possibility, Armin, that this is what it is.
Yeah, there's always possibility. I just think it's very unlikely.
Oh, so when I was saying that about the other possibility, you were like, oh no, hang on, it could be possible, that could be possible, that could be possible.
Yeah, you know why? Because as soon as you considered that you could be creating a two-tier system, you immediately let go of your conclusion. Okay, these are two men that have considered these positions. Okay, I've listened to Jordan Peterson talking about he has a collective mindset. Netanyahu, even more than Jordan Peterson, he has been talking about this specific topic for all his life, and he chooses his words carefully. I know he knows what he's talking about. That's why I will not be as charitable to him as I was to you. Okay.
But you and I were both.
You deserve more charitability for two reasons. That specific topic was something that you just recently thought about. One, evidence number one. Two, as soon as you thought that this could cause discrimination, you changed your point. That's why you deserve charitability. These two men, they don't deserve that level of charitability.
Well, screw them. I don't care. But I didn't see it like you did, because I know at the core of it, it is about the promised land given to this one particular group of people, and they lay claim to it, which is as absurd as it could be. And I'm all for two states. All right. Well, I think this is it. We've made your buddy wait long enough, so I'll take a leave. And when
this
should
is fun, though. Did you enjoy this? I enjoyed this stream a lot. I think we went off at each other quite a bit. I liked that.
No, I think that was good. I liked it too.
Yeah.
All right, people. I am out, and I feel sorry for you guys who have to listen to this guy. I'm just being a dick. All right, ta-da. Bye-bye.
All right, bye. All right, let's bring Ibn Qayyim up. Hey.
Hello, hi there. I mean, interesting conversation as ever. Don't you think it's the epitome of cowardice to kick someone off the channel and then to physically threaten them whilst they've been kicked off? To physically threaten someone once they've been kicked off.
Okay,
that's the epitome of cowardice.
All right, yeah, I'm still here. That's not the
epitome
you said, of cowardice.
It is, my
friend.
The
epitome of cowardice is when you were not letting me finish and then you called me a piece of shit. That was the epitome of cowardice.
No, then you kicked me off. No, then you kicked me off the show and then you threatened me. You want to threaten me to my... I tell you what, next...
Yeah, I have a control over mute button, okay? I did try to mute you at that time as well.
We'll see what you do to my...
Yeah, that's what I'm doing, because you fucking...
Why are you muting me?
You're shouting like a mad dog.
Don't mute me, coward. Run off. Run off.
You shout
run off, you coward.
You can't allow him. Seriously, no, you can't allow this piece of shit. You can't allow this piece of shit.
But
not on our show. You can probably take him on your Atheist Republic channel, because this guy is a piece of shit. You know, like, I mean,
well, can
this would be extremely disrespectful towards me for you to allow this piece of shit to talk about me.
Okay, I will do it. I will do a different show.
Yeah, do a different show, and not on Secular Jihadists then. You know, because you have to give some respect to your co-host. Okay, I'll take my leave.
I will do it on the Armin. Yes, I will.
Okay.
Yes, I will. Separate. Okay, Ibn Qayyim, let's do. As Harris Sultan is my co-host, and I have to, because I'm working with him, I have to give into his request. But because a YouTube member, I owe you this time as well. So I have to try to work in between these requirements. So I will have a chat with you on my private Armin Navabi channel. Okay. Armin Navabi channel. I will email you. I will send you a link, and we will do not an atheist. Is that okay? He said sounds good. Okay, Ibn Qayyim said sounds good. So guys, if you want me to see this discussion with Ibn Qayyim, I will do it on my personal channel, not Secular Jihadists, not Atheist Republic, but Armin Navabi. So I will arrange something with him on email, and we will make it happen there. Okay. Anyways, so I'm going to end the stream. Okay, guys. Sorry about all this mess. Please like and subscribe and hit the bell notification and support both Harris Sultan and Secular Jihadists any way you can. And this was crazy. All right, guys. Bye. Mwah.